Shit. Oh, I meant to play the fucking... I played the wrong damn transition. This is,
Do it again!
I'm doing it again!
We're starting over.
We have an intro, like a proper one now. That's the main thing.
Setup EXE is now running.
That's the main thing. Shit, I forgot to fully How did I manage this?
Alright, we're starting over again. Play the intro again.
Do it again!
We're doing it again. Oh my god. Whatever. I don't know if it even did it right this time. Fuck.
Hi everyone, welcome to Officially Unofficial. I'm your host, Ed Arbiter. Here are my two core-hosts.
Aren't I the host here?
I think you've lost those privileges.
Shit, I think you're right.
Was anyone really even in charge here?
I mean, I'm streaming it. I'm the one who put it together to some extent. Finally, I'm the one who pulled the trigger. Whatever. It's not important. What is important is that Splatoon 3 was in our hands this last Saturday, and we need to talk about that. We need to talk about so much.
The game
There's a lot
feels
to take
so
in.
buttery smooth.
It's so good.
I'm in depression. 8 days. Someone just put it in my hands. It doesn't need to be real.
But yeah, we had the Splatfest world premiere happen. Rock paper scissors. Do we start by which team everybody was on that's in here?
Well, the correct team won, and I was on the correct team. That's all I find important.
You would say that.
Naturally.
Brock always wins.
Look, at least I didn't get last.
We had first, and then everything got robbed away from us.
Yeah. Try maintaining a 5 to 8 win streak then, like all the Rock team did at the end.
Oh, I did. That's the problem.
I also couldn't really play all that much once it switched to Tricolor, but yeah, it was still fun.
Tricolor is... Oh, it's very divisive right now. I don't want to get bogged too into it, but I will say is Tricolor didn't affect the results, or Paper wouldn't have also lost 3 to 4%.
I have words. We'll save that for later.
Yeah,
okay.
Let's... Yeah, so in the background, I basically more or less just got the VOD up from my stream of the whole thing, so that's just kind of going to be going unrelated right now. But yeah, so Splatoon 3, we finally got our hands on it. We got to play a whole bunch of Turf War with most of the weapons, actually, like at least the base kit. So that was really exciting, honestly. We were just able to see so many weapons at a time. I don't think any of the other like preview things.
What about half the weapons that are going to be in the base game?
Yeah, roughly.
Just
but
about.
I don't recall there being so many weapons in like any of the other previews for 2, and especially not for 1. 1 was really basic.
Actually, almost exactly half, because there's 27 weapons that were not in the demo.
Right.
There were 26 in.
So so yeah, let's I'm going to just quickly mention the quick honorable mentions for this Splatfest. We did not see Inkstorm or Tentamissiles at all. None of the weapons had those specials, so we're not really going to be talking about them too in depth.
Inkstorm, from what the information I have, is completely unchanged, and Tentamissiles are nerfed.
Yeah, they are.
Did they actually nerf them? Huh.
Did you not? We'll go over that later.
Yeah.
We'll go over that later.
I might have missed something, because for the footage I had at least seen, they looked like they were buffed, but we'll go into that later.
I guess that depends what you're using missiles on.
That's true.
I would say generally they're nerfed. But
Yeah.
I don't know. What are your guys' experience playing? What did you guys play? What maps did you guys play on? What were your guys' experiences? Because I think I had a very different one than you guys.
I managed to play for about like 6 to 7 hours, and I managed to get most of it on stream. I managed to play like just about every single map, and I was near exclusively playing the Tri-Stringer and the Splatter Shot Pro.
Alright, how's that?
So the Stringer, this is also going to be a topic in and of itself. A lot of people have opinions on the Tri-Stringer. I am very much pros Tri-Stringer. It took a while for me to get used to just how it works, and I'm still by no means a master of it. But it is phenomenal, I think, at what it does. It's just that it doesn't really... It's like... My opinion of the weapon is that it is a great support fire kind of weapon. It's like... It offers a ton of disruption between Killer Whale 5.1, the Toxic Mist, as well as its explosive shots that are constantly chipping at you. It paints fine, not great, but fine enough. But there's a bit of a trick to it. And the fact that it is able to contest a lot of long-range weapons by itself, with the threat of one-shotting them, or just chipping them down with explosive damage, is pretty good, I would think. I think that this is going to be a weapon that takes a lot to learn, but is going to be very devastating in the right hands.
Yeah, I played it a little bit. The first 3 games I played, I did not get a single kill. Just, I don't know what it is, just people were taking more shots than they should. Something obviously I was doing, because I had more success later. The skill floor on this weapon is just really high.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think I can agree on that. Yeah.
Now, that being said, it's not a bad weapon. People mad that their anime weeb sword isn't good have been saying that, but
Oh, God. After I played the Splatana a little bit, I was just kind of like, wait, is this weapon actually not that good?
it is not that good.
I-
We'll go over it later when
Yeah.
we do later activities, but guys, the Splatana is not good. It's not a better flagship. I don't know why that's a discussion.
Look, I didn't like it either because I definitely I tried to play like every class at least once. Gave the Viper shot, did not like it. I think the Stamper will probably sell me a bit better, but the
I played-
Viper was not great.
I played 3 games and I got kills, but I never felt like I deserved those kills.
Yeah.
Fair
But
enough.
I played the majority of the weapons, so probably better to go to Icy. What did you play?
Like I said, I played every class at least once. I tried Stringer. I think it has good damage. It just doesn't paint well enough for me to actually consider it. I actually like Charger more in 3, which is surprising coming from someone who mainly plays on the front lines. I kind of just stuck to Zap and Arrow Spray after a while, though, since those were the ones that were really clicking with me.
So
Yeah, that's probably fair. The other weapon that I ended up putting a decent amount of time into was the Pro. I didn't really quite do it nearly as much. Honestly, I was mainly just soloing with the Tri-Stringer, but the Pro, I gotta say, angle shooter actually helps it a lot. It's
feels good.
The
Yeah.
two-shot Pro with Angle Shooter. Kind of amazing.
Angle Shooters also outranges the Pro's shots, so it gives it a better poking tool because it travels basically instantly, so
It's effectively a burst bomb.
Yeah.
Effectively a burst.
It's a harder to hit burst bomb, but for the Pro, I mean, you're
Yeah.
used to lining up that shots and having to have your reticle right on it, so it shouldn't be that
I mean,
too
it
hard to
can
hit.
miss, and you'll still technically get benefits because you'll get point sensor after, but...
Yeah. Like, worst case scenario, you whiff it, but you whiff the direct shot, but you still get to track, which it also helps, like, a lot. Because it helps you steady your aim.
It's better point sensor.
Yeah.
Which makes me question why point sensor is even still going to be in this game.
The weak point...
Don't worry, you're not alone.
The weak point of the kit, honestly, is probably the fact that it is with the crab tank, which is... I think we're going to get this more in depth, but I feel like the crab tank was actually kind of mid.
It's not super consistent until you
It's
get
not as good as I thought it was going to be.
So what Crab Tank does is it starts off really slow on its main fire, and then it ramps up. It takes a while to ramp up, and before it does, it's kind of not great. It's also very destroyable, so a lot of people I saw trying to frontline it were not having good days.
Yeah.
The amount of times I've just seen like entire teams just completely
Oh
just
my God.
destroy the
I
tank. It was so funny.
I saw literally a pro on someone's stream throw a game by just holding Crab Tank forward into enemy ink and getting shot. When they already had more paint than the enemy team. They just needed to hold position.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like the thing that I can probably compare the tank to the most is like the way that its primary fire works is kind of similar to that of the like the Octo I don't remember the Octarian enemy in the single player Splatoon 2 that had the minigun. It ramps up kind of like that, but
I think it's Octo Turret is what they call it.
Octo Commander actually.
It is Octo Commander.
Okay,
Yeah.
Octo Commander.
Because then there's the Octo Sniper, which is the other one that looks the same, but it just has a
Yeah.
charger.
Octo Commando, yeah, I think that's what it was. Yeah.
But like I said, I played a bunch of the stuff. I played 3 games of the Wiper. I didn't feel good at any of those games. Now I got like 10 kills in every single one, but I think that had to do with just the lobbies I was in rather than the weapon. Because there were so many times it's like, wow, this person isn't dead yet. If I was against a half decent player, I would be dead before I hit them the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I feel like they just like it's just so telegraphed trying to close the distance, and sharking in this game is like inherently a little bit weaker just because of the fact that like in Turf War you're probably not going to run into that much, but the existence of the wave breaker is going to make sharking really hard in this game, and this feels like a weapon that wants to shark.
the Squid Roll and Surge also promote movement, which sharking doesn't help with.
Yeah, not really.
This game does not promote sharking at all.
You can still do it, but like you're going to have to do it a lot more sparingly.
But yeah,
I don't know. All those 14 kill games I got with Aerospray and Zap say otherwise, but
I played one game of 52. 52 is 52. I played a lot of the Splatter Shot near the end. Man, Hizuka hits a lot of weird corners.
It does. The explosion is huge, and
The
it
hitbox is huge. It just clips a corner, and now it doesn't kill anymore.
yeah. It is reactable, but it's like you need to see it coming because it like unlike most of the other specials I've seen, it doesn't have quite as distinct an audio cue.
So it doesn't arc the way I keep thinking it's going to.
Yeah, there's definitely a little bit of trial and error with it, but I mean, it's solid. It is going to be just a solidly good weapon throughout most of this game's life, unless it gets nerfed into the ground for some reason.
For anyone that hasn't tried it, it just shoots relatively straight.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty straight, and until it gets a certain about Hydra range where it just dips.
yeah. You can curve it, so like one of the 3 shots can go like over a wall if you aim it right, but
Yeah, but only one of them just does 40. So it's not the best.
well, if it hits directly, I thought it did 200, but it has to do
if all
directly.
3 hit.
Is it all 3?
It's 40 if it's 1, 80 if it's 2.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a number of weapons that I probably wish that I could have spent more time with, but I was like, my time is limited, and I was super into learning how to play Splatana better, so I just kind of went all in on it, and I'm basically going to be like spending more time around the launch window of the game, actually learning some of the other weapons.
Yeah. Other than Splatter Shot, the weapon I put the most time on, to no one's surprise, was Tent.
Yeah, shocking, I know, when it was given such a good...
so good in this game.
It not only does the main weapon seem to be a little bit buffed, but like it's the kit it was given was also really nice.
Vac is so nice.
Yeah.
Vac is actually really fun.
It's more of what you want to do, except you don't need to expend a resource to do it.
Yeah, like as a defense, as like a frontline bulwark, it's gonna be like really, really strong, I think.
It's also a lot more mobile than I expected, which alleviated a lot of concerns I had with the ink vac. Because I knew already it was the special I was excited for, the one I cared about the most, and the one that is like, you know what, this is on 96. I have a good special. I need to get good at this.
Yep, fair.
96 wasn't in the demo, or I would have played exclusively that. But no,
On the
10's really
subject.
good. Beacons, they're good for 10,
Mm-hmm.
especially with something we'll talk about later, which
On
a lot of new players will not like.
on the subject of gals, though, can we talk about the 52 gal real quick?
No, I don't want to.
I don't want to either, but I need to.
Ugh.
Boy, was that
Unchanged. If you played Splatoon 2, you know what this weapon does. It does the same thing.
It does the
Another
same
game of
thing and
Gallo
has-
oppression and mid-tiers. Let's go.
It's not technically as good as it is in 2 because of the special. Doesn't give it armor,
Yeah.
but the main weapon is exactly the same. Arguably better. Again, with the thing we'll talk about later, which is the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, turns out some of the stuff that we were given in the transition to Splatoon 3 benefited the gal, like the 52 gal, a lot, and I feel as if it is going to be a very big pain to deal with.
It's gonna be the weapon that's like, I don't know what I'm gonna play on this map. I'm just gonna play this because it's going to just generally be good everywhere.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Uh,
So the weird thing in the demo is there was not a lot of bombs. So I think that might affect our perception of 52, because that's typically how you deal with that weapon, and then it reacts to bombs by pressing Booyah Bomb. But it doesn't have Booyah Bomb.
no, it has Killer Whale instead, which is also okay, but like it
Not gonna keep it alive.
not
Yeah.
really. I would say that like the Killer Whale is a fine weapon. It doesn't paint any unless it gets kills, so it's a little bit awkward to use as a result of that. But
But no, if you hate the 52 gal, you still have reason to hate the 52 gal.
yeah, you do. Like the main weapon is still going to be good. Arguably might be even better. I do want to quickly shout out the sub ability Intensify Action because I think we know a little bit more since
Yep.
about what it does.
So it does. Yeah, we know exactly what it does. So it increases the range of Squid Surge and Squid Roll. We thought it was speed. I think it's technically the same thing. It's same thing with shot velocity, where because you get more shot velocity, you also technically get more range.
Mm-hmm.
But you also get reduced jump RNG. Why?
Why? I don't know, but that gives it another option to go for because it's like, oh, well, now its jump shots are also going to be somewhat consistent if it runs a little bit of Intensify Action.
Like it needed help with jump shots.
Yeah, I'm not a particularly big fan of that one, but oh well.
Intensify. I will say that I was right. Intensify Action is going to be the value sub. If you don't run, unless you run a lot more, but every weapon's gonna want at least a sub of this.
Yeah, like if it is
But
good
then
as a
you
value
actually get
sub,
benefit
then it's
out
going to
of
be
it,
a
yeah.
value sub. But otherwise, honestly, I could see dedicating a whole main slot to it if the returns are good enough.
I mean, especially with 52 being a gear independent weapon.
Oh yeah,
It's always been gear independent, and now it's like, what if I just had no jump RNG? Oh, yeah, yeah, that's a thing you want. Finally, 52 has something it wants,
yeah.
I imagine this is going to be on every gal and every blaster.
along with
Just-
LD, which is unchanged, by the way.
Yeah, LDE is, considering that LDE was definitely picking up steam toward the end of Splatoon 2's life, I expect it to be pretty popular to start out here, too.
I mean, it's just for ranked modes at least. It's not very good for turf war, so I wasn't running it in that. But it gives you all abilities you want. The ability to sustain fights, the ability to deal with objective for longer. Just it gives you resources. Resources give you options.
Yeah.
So there's no reason not to run LDE if it remains as good as it is.
If you don't have anything better to put in your hat main slot, then yeah, LDE is just always going to be good.
Spoiler alert. Typically, you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have MPU anymore. And that was seemingly replaced with Intensify Action. Probably good.
Look,
Some weapons are going to be suffering because of
it'll
it,
be
but
consistent. The fact is, it still requires skill to actually use well versus MPU, which is like, all right. I guess I do more damage now, like 20% of weapons.
I'm gonna state something that is also gonna relate to something we talk about later. It's broken. It's stupid. It's more busted than what we lost, and I love it. Don't touch a thing.
yeah, we'll get to that other thing.
We'll get to that.
Oh God, we're gonna get to that other thing.
Except I do actually want stuff taken away from that other thing. So
To be fair, it needs to be balanced because it going in as is no.
I swear you designed this. By the way,
No, I didn't.
the way you kept talking armor needed more health. You definitely designed this.
Oh my God.
This isn't health though. This is actually adding nothing to the health bar. I didn't pick this like this. I just happened to be like, all right, it might be better than we think it is, and then it ended up being too good.
Well, we'll get to this when we get to this. I wanna shout out another weapon real quick. Another one that I just remembered that I also spent a little bit of time with. Dark Tetra Dooleys.
Yeah.
So
What is that kit? Why is it amazing?
Yeah, like it turns so. First off, fun fact about Dooleys: if you didn't try them in the demo, you can cancel out of a squid roll into a Doolie roll, like no problem.
Yeah, off a wall.
Off a wall. Yep.
Off a wall, even, yeah. So the mobility that Dooleys have now is crazy. Actually, insanely high skill ceiling now with them.
Remember when people thought that squid roll would kill Dooleys? Where are they now?
No, as a matter of fact, it made it 10 times better. And
Yeah.
Dark Tetra's got a great kit. It has auto bomb. It's not the best bomb, but it is still a bomb. And more importantly,
Everyone
it got Reef
forgets about
Slider.
the auto bomb.
Tetras don't need a bomb.
Like, Dark Tetra is getting Reef Slider of all specials. Like, alright, it gets to charge up a thing that takes it halfway across the mat, invulnerable, by the way, causes a splashdown explosion, and then gets to do Dark Tetra stuff.
And that all happens in 2 seconds. The second fastest that something can do that in. We'll talk about the first later.
Yeah, so Dark Tetra's honestly terrifying weapon. I think that, like, with it just going out with all-out offensive and just going for, like, probably a comeback QR type of build, it would probably be really oppressive in the right hands.
It was probably one of 2 S-tier weapons in the demo.
Yeah. I'm not good enough to bring it to that potential, but I am definitely eyeing it as a potential weapon for me to pick up.
That being said, the other weapon with Reef Slider is the one I actually played a lot of. Why did they give Aerospray a fizzy bomb, and why do I love it?
They gave Aerospray a good kit. Like, unironically, Aerospray I think is a good weapon in this game.
I spent 2 whole games just throwing fizzy bombs. And I was playing the Splatfest with A, and we were just laughing at people dying to fizzy bombs for like 6 minutes.
Yeah, it turns out when the weapon with no range and no killing power from the weapon gets a very good poking tool, it becomes a lot more formidable.
People were saying fizzy bombs seem nerfed in this game because they're a little erratic in how they jump. No.
I mean, making them erratic kind of buffs them in a way.
Yeah, they're unpredictable.
They're not even that erratic. It's only a couple pixels.
Yeah, like...
That variation is enough, though, I guess, to some people. I don't know.
Look,
maybe.
I got a lot of fizzy kills. I'm not concerned about this sub.
Look, I'm just... Aerospray's fun again. Most of those kills came from V-Slider for me, but you know what? It was still funny.
Oh god, I don't want to fight the Dolphins or Zephyr.
Oh, you definitely don't want to fight Zephyr. Once Zephyr is, like, really, really used to everything...
Zephyr's gonna become the best player in the PSL.
Like, you've already seen what he can do with an Aerospray that has a suboptimal kit.
That man can play H3.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, no. Unironically, I think Aerospray, like, it's not even going to be a meme weapon. I don't even feel good calling it the trash can in Splatoon 3's context.
I will, because if you die to it, it's main weapon.
Well, yeah.
Which a lot of people were, by the way.
I mean-
was actually feeling really good about actually using
Okay.
the aerospray.
Okay, so I wanted to talk about this when we brought up the tent. A lot of the weapons feel like they have a tighter spread. Aerospray is one of them.
Yep.
Like, it feels a lot tighter. Like, it can actually... It's not quite as good as Splatter Shot, but it's close.
That's surprising. Like, how close is it to Junior, then, would you say?
Pretty close.
On par.
Yeah.
Damn.
Junior! Oh,
it's
poor
so
Junior.
bad. It's so bad.
We finally found
Everything-
it. We found the game where Junior's, like, maybe a little bit mid at best.
No, it's
It's
only thing-
bad.
the only thing you can do is double bomb. You
Yeah.
don't have a good special to spam, unlike Aerospray. It's
Yeah.
just worse than Aerospray.
It's just worse.
This is... what kind of bizarro world am I living in?
One where the main weapon that you unlock by default isn't going to be top tier.
Yeah, that's,
Oh, it took 7 years and 3 games.
It's not even going to be mid tier.
Like-
It's 'cause it's down there at the bottom. It's actually really bad.
maybe Custom Junior will be better. Who knows?
To all the Plus server juniors and all the people who've made the weapon since the beginning, pour one out.
Pour one out, indeed.
Considering this one in this very call, yes.
Pour one out. Your homies didn't make it.
No, don't worry. We're hydrating. We're hydrating.
I did. I don't know if that was like you could hear that just now, but I just did.
I mean, you
Not-
definitely don't hear it on my end.
Cool. So other weapons though, like the big bubbler, it's not good for Junior. It is good for Roller, which
Oh god, yeah. I didn't
is
see too
legitimate
many.
in this game.
I didn't see too many
I
rollers.
think it's good on everything but Junior, honestly.
I didn't see too many rollers, but it was pretty nice for roller. I saw it.
On like a actual team comp blaster, it'd be good. It's good on, but
Mhm.
blaster can have some problems getting in.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
You need
Which-
help getting in with blaster.
Mhm.
And I think you need to be on the front line to use this special.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, it ends up
Yeah.
being, like, a really good frontline tool because it just gives you, like, a near impenetrable wall for you to dart back and forth between, which is just really nice. It's as if, like, your roller suddenly became a Brella.
And are you
I
gonna
would
try?
say near impenetrable. That thing is pretty darn flimsy.
No, it's like he just threw 4 splat walls.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably going to get shredded a lot more when people are more reliably running stuff like Object Shredder and have bombs to throw.
It's like they gave Kraken a secondary sub weapon.
Well, it'll definitely get shredded if they actually give Suction its damage buff back.
Yeah. We'll see, we'll see. Any backline weapons that you would say stood out to you guys?
Charger.
Charger.
Yeah, I mean, Charger's got Ink Vac and Splat Bomb. It's pretty good as a kit by itself.
And no laser.
No, I think it still had a laser.
I don't remember the laser. Maybe
I
I was
saw-
playing.
No, it definitely still had a laser. The bow doesn't have a laser.
The charge, like, backline in general just feels better in this game. Felt better in 3.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, not having missiles rain down on you constantly helps.
I'm so
But,
glad missiles are back.
And the other thing that we thought was going to actually be a terror on backlines isn't actually as good as we thought it was. So,
Chow,
not
I'll
to
get.
say it's bad, but I just didn't think it was as good as we thought it was going to be.
We're gonna agree
initially.
to disagree. Agree to disagree.
Chow, I'll give you this. Heavy Splatling, I feel like it's a little unfortunate it got Sprinkler, but other than that, Heavy plus Wavebreaker just basically just says, yeah, this zone is mine now. Go away.
It's a ranked. It's not fair to base it on turf. It's a ranked kit.
Yeah, it is 1000% a ranked kit.
So is E-Leader. Although I don't think E-Leader's... I think E-Leader still has the same problems.
I'll get
Yeah.
into Wavebreaker later. I still have my thoughts.
Yeah, I know, and you're wrong. Anyway.
You can say that, but
What else do we have? Or do we want to get into the... Oh, so standout moments for you guys. Any, like, game moments? It's like... Yeah, I wanted to share
I
a
had a
few
game
moments
with
that
6
happened.
arrow sprays in it once, so it was just constant reef sliders, and that was funny.
I've had several games where there were like 4 bows in the lobby, like evenly split between the 2 teams. So that was funny. I had multiple games when Mahi Mahi was in the rotation. I'm going to briefly mention Mahi Mahi is not a great turf map.
Do we want to talk about stages at any point? Like, what did we think?
The best one is Scorch Scorch, and that is not debatable.
I want to say Eeltail Alley is my favorite, but Scorch Scorch was very nice. Yes.
I think my favorite was actually Mincemeat Metalworks, honestly.
That's number 3 for me. Number 2 is Museum.
Museum's nice. I like Museum a
Museum's
lot.
really fun.
There's just a lot to do at Museum.
Well, because
Yeah.
it was like the one map they virtually didn't really change from 1, surprisingly.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like-
more or less the same, but like there's a nice amount of verticality to it. There are multiple ways into mid. There's a lot of cover for you to play around. It feels very well balanced, in my
There's
opinion.
a lot of places in the base you can go.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're not like pigeonholed once you choose a route to keep choosing that route. You can very easily rotate from route to route. There's lots of things for you to climb on the spinners. It's just good. Like it's just a solid map.
Yeah.
Ah,
I really love the new spawning system in general also, just like because of the fact that it is just you get to with that spawning system, like you actually do get to like plan out like rollouts and whatnot, which is something that wasn't really like it was possible to do in the other games, but the way that these spawns like shoot you out in such drastically different directions, you can get into a good position like really quickly. Like on Museum especially, it's like, oh yeah, I could start getting into a firefight like 5 seconds into the match. Just helps a lot with speeding up the pace of the game.
I hate to say Mahi was probably the worst map in the demo, but I also was playing Tent on Mahi. Not a good combination. Wouldn't recommend.
No. Whenever I got Mahi, I was basically just like, all right, I'm going to the top mid platform. If I'm allowed to sit there, my team is going to win.
Fair enough.
This was true about 90% of the time.
I don't know. My experience for Mahi was different. It was just like, alright, most of the time I got there, I was playing like Aerospray, and it was just like, alright, this is like the easiest in the spawn ever, because no one's really watching top. So,
I swapped to Zap, and then I had a lot more enjoyment. But
Yeah, by the way, if we want to talk about a weapon that is going to be ever present in this game, it's going to be Zap.
why is it always ends up?
It's always NZAP. NZAP is the true evergreen, as it turns out. Junior has fallen off.
I have yet to be proven Splash isn't that too, but
Yeah, but Splash wasn't in the demo.
that's true.
Unfortunately,
Splash will be,
it would have
but
been nuts.
it would have been insane. That thing has a burst bomb.
Yeah.
Usually has to wait till its second kit to get that.
I think in general, like, a lot of the kits in this game ended up being, like, a lot more, like, the base kits in the demo ended up being, like, pretty favorable for the weapon.
The philosophy in this game feels like if everything's broken, nothing is.
The
Yeah.
philosophy
And
of this
then
game
there's
is just
Zap.
don't kill people. That's what I feel. This game is telling you be straight up aggro. There is no defense in this game. Offense only. Go, go, go.
Well,
Well-
Turf is always technically a more aggro mode anyway, so we'll see what the ranked modes look like.
Yeah,
But
like, I feel as if
definitely feel faster paced.
a more defensive kit, I think, will work out for, I think a more defensive kit will work out for the, for some of the ranked modes. Particularly because of the fact that, like, I think there are quite a few good defensive kits right now, such as, well, Tent.
Heavy.
Heavy, yes.
Heavy looks pretty good in a defensive manner.
Yeah. Like,
Mm-hmm.
once you get them set up... Yeah, what did Nautilus have again? I don't think it was in the demo, but
Hold on. Let me see if I can find it again. I think it's like I want to say it's point sensor rain.
ow!
Wow, that's
I know
definitely much
I know
different
it-
than it was in 2.
I know
Well-
it got rain.
Well, I think I just threw up a little.
Nautilus means in shambles.
God, yeah. I mean, Inkstorm's not a bad special to have for it, but why does it effectively not have a sub?
And the thing is, they could have given it a better option, and then they just decided not to do that.
Hey
Yeah.
guys, the Nautilus fan base is dying. Press X to make it die faster.
Pretty much.
Well, that's one less thing I have to worry about. Doesn't get rid of ballpoint, but hey.
Yeah. Hydra, by the way, speaking of Splatlings, it has a Booyah Bomb now.
Booyah Bomb's good.
We at least found out it still paints. It doesn't paint as well as 2, but it still paints.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's a Hydra.
Yeah.
Hydra is Hydra. That's my opinion.
It takes time to
It
get
might
set
have
up, but
been
if
me,
it gets
it
set
felt
up,
like
it
the
can be
charge time for
annoying.
Hydra was slower.
I think the game being faster is more what you were feeling.
Probably, honestly. Not willing for chance, it just felt that way when I played Hydra.
Could also just be maps being smaller. I don't know if the game felt faster if the maps are just smaller or if it was both.
Probably both, honestly, because the maps are absolutely smaller.
The maps felt a little smaller, but I think that might have been the spawning system also, like, being part of it.
Potentially.
But in the case of Surgeon specifically, because that was the only tricolor map, I think that's really mostly Tricolor's fault.
Yes, I don't think it'll actually matter as much when we actually get to play Sturgeon normally, but there are definitely parts of Sturgeon that are missing from 2.
I think just, like, the spawn areas were smaller because, like, they wanted it to be more, like, for Tricolor specifically, they want it to be more cramped and,
I was gonna say, well, if you give them too much in spawn, then how is the middle ever supposed to win?
Supposed to win.
Yeah.
Especially when the middle also had no safe spawn whatsoever.
Because then you could literally just paint your side, paint the little pit area, and you don't even need to leave. Go into mid. You just stop red from getting out.
Yeah. You want to just transition, like, fully into Tricolor because we're kind of, halfway
have
there
a lot.
anyway.
I don't have a lot to say. I'll be real.
Yeah.
I said my piece at the beginning. It didn't change the result of Splatfest. It doesn't work as a catch-up mechanic the way it's intended, and a lot of people just generally don't find it very fun.
I think that it is probably going to be... I feel as if, like, with how loud everyone has been about Tricolor, it is going to be adjusted before release to some... or before the next Splatfest, at the very least. I still think that the concept is really interesting, but inherently, when you're balancing in an asymmetrical mode, it is much tougher. And this is the first time that this series has tried something like this. It's very interesting, but the fact that it is asymmetrical like this means that it is going to need to be iterated on.
I'm just not super huge into turf war, so iterations on that. I mean, it's a cool concept. It's just I don't.
I just remember getting spawn locked one game completely out of the match as Team Paper because Team Scissors just happened to have the most cracked 52 gal I've ever seen in my life, backed up by a tent.
See, now that's funny because my experience with the Tricolor is Scissors just wants Paper dead, and then Rock walks into mid and wonders where everyone is.
I don't know, my philosophy is, alright, protect the Ultra Signal at all costs. Alright, we're getting like 1 million kills. Okay, fine, we still lose.
Once I realized that the only condition for us to win Tricolor was Scissors loses, I kind of stopped caring as much about the Ultra Signal not going to our team.
Yeah. I don't know. Can you two answer this for me? Do you actually get more if you guys actually get the win for your team or not?
1,000 points. You get 1,000 extra points.
Yeah, you get 1,000 extra points. I'm like, whatever. I don't.
For what I heard,
much.
even if Scissors did win, the payout wasn't as great as the other two teams winning.
It's more important to get the signal.
Yeah, you want to get the signal at all costs.
You don't get hardly anything if you win if you don't get the signal.
You also want to attempt it as often as possible because that lowers the charge time every time you attempt.
That's another problem I have. The fact that we were defending and the charge time actually just actively gets shorter.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
your
that's
object.
not-
Yeah, your objective is as Team Scissors is to
Because
prevent
that
them
just
from
kind
getting
of
there in
says,
the
all right,
first
we're playing
place.
objective. Why are we still getting punished for it?
Because Rainmaker is a mode.
Yeah, it's. I like there's a whole bunch of ways that you could potentially try to balance it, and I'm going to say I have no fucking clue how you're supposed to, because not only am I not a game designer, this is also an asymmetrical mode. I have no idea where to even start to make it feel better. That is a job for the professionals.
Yeah.
I trust Nintendo to figure it out. They've made good changes with the turf with Splatfest in the past.
Yeah.
I think they'll figure it out.
And if they don't figure it out, it's not like I give too much care about Turf War to start.
Honestly, I figured it out. If they don't balance it, the option for the first place team anyway should just be Horde Pro.
People get a little too invested in Splatfest results, in my opinion. So it's
I
just supposed to be
agree.
fun.
I don't care about the results all that much. I'm not that invested.
The only one I had investment in was Order of Chaos.
Well, yeah, because that was Final Fest. Anytime it's Final Fest, you're going to be invested.
And
I
once
mean,
again,
normally because it shapes the next game. So
the right size one. The good guys win.
Look, now that I actually have this version of Splatoon 3 in my hands, and like I do sometimes wonder what Order Splatoon 3 would have looked like, but I'm happy with Chaos Splatoon 3. I'm very happy with Chaos Splatoon 3.
Indeed. Alright. I don't want to talk about my like big standout moment because it kind of gets into our Did we talk to we're gonna do a tier maker?
We hadn't said so, but yeah, we are going to do a couple of tier lists. I'm not going to show them on screen because I don't want to set OBS on fire when it is just updated with a huge UI aesthetic change, and I don't want to break anything. So they will just be uploaded to Twitter. We're going to describe where we're placing everything as best as we can.
I'll probably also upload them in the VOD when we go to at the end.
Yeah, potentially.
But as Icy and Par can see in our X rank tier for weapons, there's one outlier here
Yeah.
that we're just gonna get into. So the best weapon's NZAP, yeah?
Yeah, NZAP's the best weapon in the game.
And it's the best weapon not because they did anything crazy to NZAP, not because it paints more, not because it's a better fighter, not because it's got this crazy
that
bomb.
special is why it's up there.
It's the Chug Jug dispenser.
NZAP holds the distinction of being the weapon that paints so well that it is able to have a perpetual tacticooler on the field, provided it does not die.
Why does tactical?
Why does the cooldown meter shorter than the actual special? Why is the cooldown meter actually shorter than the actual special?
If the NZAP is not shut down, the enemy team has an infinite tacticooler, effectively. So that is not okay.
To get into my favorite moment, what we would basically do. So, as if anyone doesn't know what the tacticooler does, perfect respawn. So you respawn in 3 seconds, or as soon as the kill screen is gone. You get, I think, 2 mains of swim speed, 2 mains of run speed, 2 mains of ink resistance, or more. 2 mains or more of intensify action. So give 52 this thing, and it has no jump RNG.
That's dangerous to me. Why are we giving Cal perfect jump RNG?
You get
and perfect special saver, by the way. So
yeah,
you actual crazy. You don't lose special at all. None.
It is absurd how good it is.
Zap can also technically throw and empty the meter faster.
Now, I will say, do I think that Tacticooler itself is overpowered? Yes. Do I think Zap is making it a ton worse by itself? Also yes. But I also think that Tacticooler is also not that overpowered by itself. It is mostly Zap exasperating the problem.
Do we mention that Tacticooler also can't be destroyed and block shots? Because that's also a thing it does.
Oh yeah, that's all. Yeah, that's also the dumb thing about it. It blocks shots. Because fuck you.
Did you guys play the clip I put in the chat earlier?
No.
Because this is how I feel. I hate it. It's so overpowered. It's so busted. It needs to be nerfed. But on the other hand, I love it.
Like, I think you mentioned it. I think you mentioned what I think is the perfect solution. Get rid of the fucking perfect special saver. That is terrible. Why is
Yeah,
that
that's
there?
overkill. Why is that here?
So my balance would be get rid of the special saver completely. Maybe even have it increase. Not 100% sure. I don't think you want to make this a feel bad special though. I'm fine with this being good.
Yeah,
Get rid of some of the ink res because you can walk faster through enemy ink than you can unpainted turf.
that's just
Why?
dumb.
Crazy. Oh, that's
Yeah, it
kind of dumb.
And
Extend the cooldown timer.
yeah, fix the cooldown timer so that you can't start building it until after it's expired.
Yeah, that I think
Not
that
the buff has expired, the cooler has expired.
Yeah.
yeah, I would say that is fine. If the cooler is expired, you can build it for another one. Otherwise, you should not be able to build another one. I think that alone actually might bring the weapon in line. It would still be really, really strong, but not
Make it
dumb.
destroyable.
Yeah, make
Not
it destroyable.
Like easily destroyable, but
yeah, just the fact that it is also a wall, effectively, that
Because
doesn't have HP,
way-
is also kind of dumb.
but that way you keep everything that's fun and you get rid of all the extra
Yeah,
that you don't need. Because Tacticooler, without all those things I mentioned, is still the best special in the game.
yeah. So yeah, Zap players rejoice. You have gotten an extremely broken weapon.
So to get into my story, I was playing with my comp team in the waning hours of the NA Fest, and we were playing on Scorch. If ever I got to the enemy plat, and it was a lot easier with Tacticooler buff to get to the enemy plat, I would just put 3 beacons down, and we are not leaving ever again.
Yeah, because you have the beacons, you have the fast respawn with Tacticooler, and yeah. How do you remove a team that's set up like that?
And we have a pro on a bridge, and we had a bucket that could just build triple ink strike.
Yeah.
No.
How do you answer that?
You don't.
Die.
Like you need
You don't.
You need to convincingly win a team fight that you have a significant disadvantage of, despite the fact that you should have respawn advantage because you're near your base.
No. The best part is that when they finally get specials to try and push you out, you just pop vacuum. Just pop ink vac.
Mm-hmm.
And suddenly they can't do anything.
Utterly
what
ridiculous.
doesn't Vac eat, man? Vac eats so much.
It doesn't eat Killer Whale.
Because that's a laser.
Yep. It doesn't eat Triple Ink Strike.
I heard it eats chip of Triple Ink Strike, though.
Yeah, but it doesn't block everything.
Yeah.
It'll block.
I mean, of course.
It will eat what's in front of you. Will not eat what's on top of you.
Right.
Technicalities. It eats Booyah Bomb.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It eats other ink vacs.
That's the one that's crazy to me. It eats other ink vacs. I had someone just fire a back shot at me, and I just ate it.
Okay.
No. You're gonna love this next one best. It eats hammer if you throw it.
Oh my god.
You know what I need to see? I need to see 8 ink vacs positioned in a private battle, and I need them to shoot an ink vac shot that bounces between all 8 players.
Just see who lives. What was I gonna say?
Ink vac tennis, yeah.
Ink vac also applies Toxic Mist, which is buffed in this game.
It is, yeah. It felt a bit better, yeah.
It increases,
maybe I won't meet my Toxic Mist in this game. Maybe.
It increases its effect the longer you're in it.
Yeah, so if you're able to hold down someone into a Toxic Mist area, or if like you put it down in a key place that someone wants to be in, it's going to really mess them up and make them easy pickings. If
So
they
you're
stay
saying
there
I
too
can't
long.
taunt people by standing in the Toxic Mist in this game? That's kind of
No, you will likely end up dying if you do.
Or
Yeah.
if you do what I do and you chase someone with an ink vac yelling free kill, free kill, free kill.
Oh my gosh.
I have witnesses.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
if
this
their
is also
feet get
why
inked, we're not going anywhere. How are they going to ink their feet?
the mist buff I feel as if is part of the reason why I feel the tri-stringer is like actually a good weapon, because it is a legitimate form of disruption in this game.
You just need to be really good at it.
Yeah.
So do we want to start by ranking the specials, or do we want to start by doing the main weapon? I think we should start with the specials.
There's
Yeah,
less of them, so I think
the
specials.
specials will inform the weapons, so yes.
We'll get to the topic everyone's gonna hate me for earlier than later. Okay.
Yeah, so we'll start from the top and work our way from the bottom, because we already talked about Tacticooler. It is the best special in the game. There's no.
I mean, I've just put them in the order I have. We can talk about them in any order after that. Tacticooler, number 1. It is in the soda tier or the S tier.
Yeah, no, it is 1000% the best special in the game, and I feel as if every comp team worth their salt is going to run one. Like, they're going to run an end zap at the bare minimum if you're going to be at the top level.
Maybe 2 because it has a bomb.
Yeah, maybe.
End zap's a good weapon. And
I would
people can
personally say that, like, more special variety is probably better in this game, because I think there are more good specials than bad. But,
I would agree, but the ones that are really bad, there's a standout.
Are really bad.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to it, yeah. I would say that mine.
You guys want to talk about next?
My number 2 is Inkvac. I didn't see a whole lot of it, but I could tell just from seeing it in the Turf War trailer that Inkvac is going to be a very good special. It has obvious weaknesses that you can capitalize on, but it just by itself has the capability of completely stuffing a push.
I also have Inkvac as my number 2. So
I thought I was going to be the Inkvac optimist. I'm the pessimist. I think Inkvac is really good. I think it is really situationally good. The problem is there are a lot of specials in this game that don't care about situation.
Yeah.
And you don't need an Inkvac on your team. You can just run more aggression. So while I agree it's probably in the tier right under, it's probably in a tier of like 5 specials right under Tacticooler, I wouldn't say it's number 2 or number 3. Probably
That's fair.
number 5 or 6. I think what you are going to have, though, is a lot of teams are going to have someone that has to threaten that they could play an Inkvac weapon. Because otherwise they can just go full aggro on you with chip damage stuff. Which Vac is going to be good at dealing with. But I'm not so high on the Inkvac that I'd put it second. But I would put it in A tier. The one I would put second is Triple Ink Strike.
I don't agree with that, but
I also
please
don't
explain.
agree with that.
Okay. Now consider this. I'm talking about ranked, like all modes. So Turf War is one mode. There are 2 specials in this game that had issues because, well, when they're in the demo, it's all Turf War, which is going to be its worst mode. Triple Ink Strike is going to be basically, in this game, better missiles. Missiles are good. They paint better than missiles. They're more targeted than missiles at an area rather than at a person, so you're not hampered by anything, or you can just throw it at a person anyway. Doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
And you can throw these things really far. So
you can throw them very far.
Range isn't a concern.
My thing with the Triple Ink Strike that, like, I don't disagree with what you're saying. I personally think that the individual explosions for each of them are tiny.
If they were big, they'd be, like, it'd literally be overpowered.
Yeah, like,
it could potentially be better than Tacticooler.
I see the value of it, but I also, like, felt as if, like, it was very easy to avoid.
Yeah, no, that's why I didn't put it up there, too.
Yes.
In Turf, yes. I will admit, yeah, part of it is just, Turf being Turf. But at the same time, I don't I don't necessarily agree that it is going to be a weapon that is like the number 2. I think it is still going to be solidly good, like just good in just about any situations. But I think that if given any amount of room to move, it is very easy to blank. Especially given that Squid Roll is a thing.
I think the only way it's going to blank is if you just throw it in a bad spot.
Well, here's the thing too. Damage. It takes most of his duration to kill anyway, because it's 5 spats of 25 each, and you need 4 of those to kill. So you can just kind of just chip most of it, and they can just get away.
Well, that being said, that chip can
yeah, but
also lead to a
if you're-
follow-up with the main weapon.
Or with a teammate that has a burst bomb, or an angle marker, or a different special.
My point there is that it's situational in that aspect.
I would say it's a lot less situational than Inkback.
I don't disagree there, but I also feel like Vac is just kind of like, all right, I can put this in almost any situation.
Because I guess we'll move into like Trizuka, which I have as my number 3. Technically that's situational in the sense of you have to have someone to fire at, but that situation is almost always.
I mean, that situation's always there, so
I would argue triple ink strike situation is the same.
I guess, yeah. I think that Trizuka has an easier time killing because of the fact that when it lands, its explosion is instant and also enormous.
Well, yeah, but triple ink strike is trying to just zone area denial, area control, whereas Trizuka is actually just trying to kill you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think the Trizuka is like, this is my personal opinion. I think that Trizuka is slightly better than Ink Strike.
I think it is easier to deny area than it is to kill.
Yeah, and I will also say that I will also say, like, regarding Inkvac in relation to these 3 as well, Inkvac is a weapon that I think has really, really high highs when it gets off.
Inkvac can do everything or nothing.
Yeah. I think that is fair. Deployed well, it is probably going to be a monster. But there are going to be situations where it's not going to do anything, but like, man, when it's actually able to shine, it's quite unlike most other specials in just how effective it can be.
I also think in relation to the other 3 specials you talked about, Inkvac can't play Rainmaker. It's too slow.
Not necessarily with the checkpoints. I think
you can swim with the back, so it technically can play Rainmaker.
Yeah,
it's just not always active.
It's not about like can you pick it. It's about like the speed of the mode. Rainmaker is a fast mode.
It is, but there are now clear points where like the mode has to slow down, which is exactly the point where the Inkvac might actually find use during that brief moment when someone has hit a checkpoint and like either offensively or defensively, really.
You don't want to be tied to those moments though, because you have to have special, and what if they just don't use their what if they just don't attack you at that moment that you have the ability?
I don't know.
You still get something out of it. The Vac has to fire.
There's not a bad time to Cooler. There's not a bad time to Triple Ink Strike. There's not a bad time to Trizuka.
I mean, technically there are, but those times are basically the enemy team is already dead.
Yeah.
It's
a situation of wasting, not...
My point with it is mostly just I think that the Inkvac is able to hit higher highs than both, but is more situational as a result. Yes. But I still think because of those high highs that it is better in that way because it can do things that like no other special can.
Meanwhile,
which I value.
Booyah Bomb's good.
Booyah Bomb's just good. Yeah. I don't know if it was just me, but I think it actually deals its damage faster than it did in Splatoon 2.
I don't know. I didn't see it hardly ever.
I got hit by it a few times, and I was surprised at how fast I died at the edge of it. I felt like situations where I could have escaped, I would have been able to escape if it were Splatoon 2, but didn't because this was Splatoon 3. I think it does apply its damage a little faster.
I wouldn't be surprised if it did. I didn't actually get to test that one, so.
Yeah. Antenna vessels. They target an area rather than a person. Or they lock onto a person, then they hit the area they were rather than person. better against backlines, worse against like just general team comps that can move around
I don't
Okay,
know
so
if...
a little bit less of a nuisance. All right.
a little bit.
So, I will agree that for our second highest tier, Trizuka, Tri-Strike, Inkvac, Booyah Bomb, I think those all belong there. Those are all just very solid specials. Tentamissiles, I think I could argue it could... It's hard to say because we didn't get to play with it at all. But I think
my argument would basically be backline looks incredibly strong, so you need something that's going to move the backline.
Yeah, but you also don't necessarily need Tentamissiles for that. Like, Killer Whale can also do that. Theoretically, Crab Tank, Triple Ink Strike, Trizuka can also do that.
Killer Whale's a little harder to focus, because if there's a person between the backline and you, it targets the person that's closer, so it won't target the backline.
Yeah, user positioning is very important with the Killer Whale.
Tentamissiles, if you point it at someone, it's gonna go at them.
Yeah.
I think Killer Whale's better for skirmishing.
I think that, like, with the lack of tracking, though, I think that is a pretty significant hit to the Tentamissiles. Still gonna be good, but I don't think it's, like, A tier good. But, again, we didn't get to play with it, so...
I feel pretty comfortable with these 5 in the A tier. Now, something else I'm incredibly comfortable with,
Are we going to just skip right to it, or do you want to get to the ones that are, like, the ones below A tier?
Man, how did you make Stamp by far the worst special in the game?
Alright, we're just gonna get to that. Okay, let's...
I wouldn't say worse, because it is another one of these specials.
It is in the D tier. Don't pick this.
Yeah,
the hitboxes are worse.
The hitboxes are worse?
It seems like it takes longer if it does the chip, because there was definitely times I got hit by like 2 chips and still lived.
It only does 80 damage.
The hitboxes are worse. I think that it blocks less shots overall.
Notice that too.
And its job is taken over by 2 specials that we're going to talk about later.
It also, like, does... I think it also... I don't know if we already said it, because, like, a bunch of people talked at once, but it was, like, 80 damage?
Yeah, 80.
So,
That's not a kill. It's not a kill.
This is a special that does not kill.
I watched a hammer go straight over someone. That other someone popped their hammer in the middle of it, and they went over each other, and the first person died.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
The hitboxes are garbage. It's worse than they've ever...
Arbiter?
What?
I think your mic became unplugged for a split second there.
Okay, am I fine now?
You're fine now, yeah.
You're fine now.
Yeah, it gets eaten by Inkvac. Its job of trying to force its way in is done better by Reef Slider.
Yeah.
Can't disagree there.
Its job of getting rid of enemy specials and bombs is done better by Inkvac.
Well, I mean, Hammer eats Bubbler. Vac can't do that.
So can Reef Slider.
I mean, yeah, also Reef Slider, but I'm just...
Reef Slider also just gets in way faster.
Also, what are you going to do now that you've opened... Also, what are you going to do now that you've opened the Bubbler?
Stop my opponents from using the beacon that's in the Bubbler?
You're going to find the 1 pixel that actually does damage? In the entire hammer hitbox? The special's not good.
Yeah, and...
I don't know how you made this worse.
Yeah, I mean... When you compare to all of the other specials that exist in the game... Yeah, like, what happened to Hammer? I don't know how they managed to make it worse, but it is just bad.
Someone at Nintendo hates this special.
I was like, why did they even need to touch it? I think the way it was in 2 was fine.
They need to fix... No, they still needed to fix the hitbox. It just was better.
Yeah, the hitbox was weird. It was extremely janky and didn't feel right.
Yeah.
Okay, to be fair, there was other problems. That wasn't exclusively Hammer's problem in 2.
It was felt most on Hammer.
I disagree. I think it was felt worse on Splashdown, but...
I hate
well, yeah, that's because you're an insane person.
It's such a fun special.
Alright, you're gonna think I'm crazy. I actually find Reef Slider just fine.
I'm a yeah. Like, it's such a fun special to use, and it's just... not usable.
Keep it at a casual level. Just keep it at a casual level.
Don't like you will have less fun for making this.
Like, if you bring Hammer to a bracket match with, like, actual stakes, you're probably just throwing.
They're gonna walk into your Hammer, not get hit, and laugh at you as they shoot you from behind.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Which is what they did in 2, except now it's easier. But
yeah, so that's the band-aid that we're going to be ripping off here. Hammer, not good.
Hammer, unplayable.
Which is kind of unfortunate for the sploosh mains.
Like, actually unplayable. Now, technically this is the C tier, but it's significantly above Hammer. Zipcaster.
I don't know how to feel about
feelings.
I don't know how to feel about Zipcaster yet.
It's just the duration. It doesn't happen for very long. Just shooting your gun decreases the duration.
I feel like, yeah, the duration I think is the main problem with it. It would be really impactful and, like, really good as, like, I'm going over here to assassinate someone sort of special.
It's not bad. It's just,
How much damage does the zip itself do? Because I know it does damage, but
if you hit them, like, right next to them, you hit the wall right next to them, it can do 95.
Yeah.
Huh.
So it is high damaging, no doubt. It can assassinate. Yeah. The problem is that it doesn't last very long.
Yeah, and it can be killed.
And it's very telegraphed. This is gonna be like similar to Splashdown. A lot of like skill checks are gonna be, can you shoot down the Zipcaster?
I'd probably pick this over Jet, honestly. It's not perfect, but
technically this is like only 1 tier above the Hammer, but this, if I were to make this accurate, there'd be like 20 tiers of empty space between these two. Like, Zipcaster's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just that other specials do a lot more. Or do the similar thing, I would argue, easier. Like Crab, or Inkjet, or Reef Slider.
Yeah. I feel like in the right hands, maybe Zipcaster is, like, decent, but yeah. It definitely feels like it's harder to get something out of it compared to the other specials.
Yeah, like, it's just gonna become the skill check. Like, casuals will... Well, I say casuals. People that don't play as... Like...
It's gonna be a pub stomper special. Like, that's basically it.
Yeah. For the normal player, it'll probably be like an A, but for like the experienced person, it's gonna be...
And, like, defensively, does it do anything for you? Do you, like, get any armor or whatever for it?
You get some armor.
Yeah.
Basically ink armor. So technically ink armor is still in the game, just...
Technically.
On a different special.
For one
and
person.
the rest of your team doesn't get it.
Yeah.
Which is probably for the best. I am very happy to say goodbye to ink armor.
But, that means the rest of our specials is in the B tier.
Yeah, I don't think I would disagree with that.
I would.
Why?
2 specials should definitely be at the bottom. 1 should technically be higher, but it's actually okay there.
Nah, Wavebreaker is a fine special, dude.
I disagree.
I know you disagree. You haven't seen this thing in ranked. This is like...
see, any sane person shouldn't be scared of Wavebreaker for even in ranked, because its range isn't that great. Most people can safely throw bombs at it. It's destroyable, and it only gets 3 waves, and it needs all 3 waves to kill.
What the fuck did you say that it doesn't have range? Are you kidding me?
Most people can safely throw bombs at it and not get tracked. I've seen how much range Wavebreaker has.
That's not the point of the special, you dunce.
It's destroyable, though. So I can just chuck bombs at it and be like, oh, well, there goes your Wavebreaker.
Yeah, the entire time it's up, it's a 5th player. It's basically a free player playing Rapid Blaster.
It tells you...
No, don't
It
really
tells
agree
the
with
enemy
that.
team, you can't shark here. You are at a disadvantage fighting here because you have to jump over these waves or focus fire onto this thing that is not a player, which opens you up to being completely messed up, as well as the fact that positioning the wave breaker smartly means that it's going to be very hard to bomb it. And guess what's going to happen in ranked? People are going to position it smartly.
It still doesn't last that long.
It doesn't need to. It is such a good area denial tool that doesn't do a whole lot on its own, but that's the point. It's not supposed to be used on its own.
Also feels like you get tactically countered by Tacticooler, but that's also just me.
Okay, but everything in this game gets tactically countered by Tacticooler.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
not
but when everyone's gonna run it, then it kind of limits its utility, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it limits the. Okay, but then why run
If it-
anything other than Tacticooler?
if it stuffs a Tacticooler infused push by itself and you don't have to expend any more resources to do that, great. Then that means you're still like holding the objective for longer, getting more points, etc.
Wait, if it does that, then it goes up here.
That one requires human input. That's not the special by itself.
No, I agree, but that's my point.
Yeah.
The fact that it even could be considered to do that.
Yeah, like, that's the thing. It's like, even
It's
behind
not
a Tacticooler, you are going to be put at a disadvantage because you are going to be forced to jump or focus fire onto this thing, which gives the enemy team time to kill you.
Lots of time to kill you. Actually, one of the most common strategies at high level is just shoot someone that isn't shooting you, and if they're shooting this, they're not shooting you.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, Wavebreaker, good. Not fantastic. Like, it is not A tier, but I think it belongs in B tier, no problem.
It's incredibly.
No, I still feel like it's like the third worst special in the game.
It's better than
All right.
Reslider.
So what's your second worst then?
Big Bubbler.
That's just bias.
Yeah.
No, that thing is flimsy. Everybody can destroy it. Just shooting the bubbler itself makes it cause damage, so it has a damage cap on its own. Anybody can just walk inside of it with no caveat, so the enemy shouldn't even be scared of it.
I have a counterpoint. There's a roller in there.
Yeah, so what's stopping you from just resliding in and killing the roller?
If you don't have the reslider.
The fact that you're having to use a special to counter that special, and you're vulnerable at the end of that special.
Okay, should I also mention that the enemy, anything like that's like a Slayer, doesn't have to deal with the biggest problem of, oh, my shots can't leave the bubbler. If you're short range, if you're a Slayer, that doesn't really caveat you any.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's A tier.
I'm just saying it's the one of the worst specials in the game because it has too many negatives and not enough positives.
I don't know what the negative of the roller is allowed to 1v1 anyone it damn well pleases while it's in the bubbler is. Like,
I don't know what the downside of everyone.
The fact is,
the
roller doesn't need the bubbler to do that, though. The roller can kind of just do that on its own. It doesn't really even need the bubbler.
That is not true.
Because-
it is super telegraphed in this game without the bubbler.
So what's the bubbler going to protect it from if it's telegraphed that
I
easily?
need to explain the sequence. If you don't have a big bubbler, one person just looks at the roller after it kills a teammate and shoots them. If it has a big bubbler, it cannot destroy the bubbler on its own. It needs more people. Suddenly, everyone that is alive is now looking at the big bubbler. What is the rest of the roller's team doing?
Plus, while the roller is doing all of that, that is also potentially a super jump point.
Hopefully, the
that is
rest of the
completely
team
safe.
is also at the bubbler. Because what are you doing if you're not there?
Anything you fucking want.
Like, I don't think we saw a lot of quick respawn in the Splatfest because, like, why would you run a main of it compared to the other stuff we had access
Why
to?
would you just not have a Tacticooler?
Also, Tacticooler, and why would you run quick respawn, period? Because it's still as bad as
Quick
it is.
super jump is what I meant to say. But
the point is,
yeah,
if everyone is forced to look at something, that means everyone else can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
And that typically that'll be productive. Big Bubbler is not this like great special that does something on its own, but it forces the enemy team to do something. And that's what makes it good.
Yeah.
And if you're just like, if they decide to ignore you, you're a roller. Throw a curling bomb and go get the next guy.
This is also a philosophy.
Okay, but then you're leaving position. I feel like that kind of is counterintuitive to what you want the special to do.
Yeah, but now you've two for one, and you've traded up.
Yeah.
You don't care.
At this point, it's like the big bubbler. Like this philosophy, by the way, works on any weapon that is aggressively minded. By the way, like any
This is
weapon that
why-
is aggressively minded that uses the big bubbler is very, very capable of using it to just mess someone up and like
This is-
do exactly that.
This is the same reason Booyah Bomb getting armor makes Booyah Bomb ridiculous.
Junior being one of the weapons that does not use big bubbler well is mostly Junior's fault, not the big bubblers.
You have to be at the front line to properly use special. Or like throwing it down at a choke point that the enemy team has to get through. But even then, I don't think that's
Kind of makes
very
me question why you gave this thing to a charger. But alright.
Phone,
They did. They gave it. Wait, they gave it to a charger. What charger did they give this to?
It wasn't in the demo, but I think one of the Dynamite kits had a charger that had this. Was it?
The what kits?
Was it one of the E-leaders? I don't remember.
No, there's only one E-liter. It would have to be. It's not Squiffer. It's not GooTuber. It's not a chart. It's not a charger. Unless
What am I thinking about?
unless Squiffer.
What am I thinking about Jet? But I don't think I'm thinking about Jet either.
I don't know.
Jet
Either
has
way,
back, I'm pretty sure.
yeah, it is a Slayer's best friend. Putting it on a support or a long range player is not going to be.
Oh, it was
as good.
classic Squiffer. Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, the Squiffer's not good in this game, so
Yeah.
everyone's kind of acknowledged that.
I'm sad.
Well, you have other kits.
Yeah.
You couldn't
Yeah.
do any worse.
Anyway, yeah.
Really couldn't do any worse.
I feel like we've more or less gone in circles with the big bubbler for this.
Inkjet is still Inkjet, even if it doesn't have armor. It's going to be good in Rainmaker. It's going to be incredibly good in Rainmaker.
Yeah, I think
Storm
the
is still
shots are
Storm.
easier to aim in a weird way. I don't know.
They travel faster.
Yeah. So that's a welcome
just
buff.
because of game speed. Alright.
Killer Whale is just good chip damage. It forces someone to move. Something you want to do. Crab.
Very good
the
for
only-
1v1s.
The only reason Crab isn't higher is it takes time to ramp up, but that's why it's at the top of B tier.
Its explosion shot is a little sad, but that's
And then-
mostly just because it's low damage.
And then Rain just does what you want to do. You throw it somewhere you don't want to paint, or somewhere you don't feel safe going, and you either follow it or you paint somewhere else.
Did we talk about Reef Slider?
Kind
Kind of indirectly throughout this
not
entire
here.
thing. Yeah, like
I
you
feel
kinda-
like we didn't directly talk about it here.
The problem with Reef Slider, other than the fact that it took Stamp's niche job of being the breakthrough special,
yeah.
it only does one thing.
It
And while
only
it's cancelable, it only does one thing.
I mean, it does that thing well.
Yeah, and you're vulnerable at the end before you get control back.
yeah,
Well,
like
If you do it right, you won't have to worry about that because your opposition will be dead.
And you can't panic button it because you just die.
You just die.
Which, it's a
Also,
lot better. than
shout out to
third
this special actually having hitboxes that work and are easy to read.
party. Like I said,
And it also does more chip than Splashdown ever did, but I'm okay with that because the hitboxes actually work.
and it can run people over.
the
It
Reef
can run
Slider.
over specials over. Shout out to Reslider canceling out Reslider.
Reef Slider is one of those weapons that I feel as if is good
Reef
but
Slider-
riddled with holes. It only does one thing, yes, but it is also extraordinarily telegraphed. One of the most telegraphed specials in the entire game, even. It is very rigid in how it can move, even if it can be cancelled, and it's super punishable. The instant the explosion goes off and you have control of your Inkling again, you are completely vulnerable. There is no grace period.
If someone rolls a bomb at your feet, you're dead.
Or traps you in mist, or, lines up a shot.
Honestly, you being vulnerable is why this is slow.
Yeah, like, it is a solid special, but it is not nearly as strong as some of the other ones.
Yeah.
But it is the thing that is carrying both Dark Tetras and Arrow Spray. Like,
Yeah, Tetras. I brought it up earlier. Tetras are very good.
Tetras are very good in this game.
And while Arrow Spray isn't the most aggressive weapon, it appreciates having something that it can just do.
Like, it allows it to get in and cause some problems, and even before then, it can poke with fizzy bombs. So, yeah. Like,
So
like I said, Aerospray, actually good kit in this game.
let's talk about the weapon. Obviously, the end zap is the chug jug dispenser.
It is, yeah, like we said, that is, if we're going off of a, like, letter grade system here, then yeah, we're keeping NZAP in X tier, and it is the only weapon in X tier. It is the only one that is that oppressively good. No Arbiter.
No. S plus, but
S,
not X.
top of S plus. Top of S plus, not X. We're not putting Dark Tetras with the NZAP.
I think it could be that strong because I think you run these two together and it's literally going to 2v4 games.
Yeah, that's the combination of them, though. I would say that by themselves, the Dark Tetras are just great. Like, probably the second best weapon in the game. I don't think that they should be at the top, at the top of the mountain. I think they should be just before it.
I'll argue that Slosher's in the same tier.
It's bomb triple ink strike, right? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's
Splat
just
bomb,
a
triple ink
It's
strike.
Splatoon 1 all over again with
Only
Slosher.
thing Bucket ever needs is a way to displace people.
yeah.
And it has it. It
It
has
has it in
it.
droves. Yep. So this thing is going to own tower again. It's gonna happen.
Bucket's always been good.
Yeah.
It's just a question of whether it's better than the other options. Splatoon 2, the answer became no because it wasn't very good at dealing with certain things.
Baller got nerfed. It had shortcomings on its other kits. Yeah. Other options just ended up getting better. So yeah, Slosher got outpaced in that game. Ironically, by one of the other Sloshers, but you know,
murdered by Squeezer. Unlucky.
Yeah. So Slosher, definitely a great weapon. Definitely S plus worthy.
I'll just kind of follow where you guys want to go on this.
Yeah. I don't know how to feel about Aerospray yet, but I think that it probably deserves B, at least.
I would say B.
Yeah, because Fizzy Bomb is a fantastic bomb for it. Reef Slider gives it something to do that isn't just more turf, which is like, it gives it like legitimate disruption, gives it legitimately like things to do, and the main weapon is a bit more accurate. So like, yeah, I think that it is just solidly a good game. Like good.
The gun itself still has 5 shots to kill, but I think it gets those shots faster. So it's not like lighting the world on fire. But I think it's like if you see it, it's not a pushover anymore.
So based on everything we said, Splatana's the worst weapon in the game, yeah?
What was its kit again? It had the hammer.
Torpedo hammer.
I don't feel like Torpedo does anything for it. So
the base Splatana, I think, is.
I would argue Splatana. The Torpedo is the only thing that does anything on that kit.
Yeah, so like what the Torpedo does is that it sets it up for a kill with its normal shots pretty decently, and its normal shots are pretty consistently accurate. I will give it that.
The problem is the hitbox is thin.
The hitbox is very thin, and one-shotting with it is risky because of the fact that its approaches are going to be super telegraphed, and sharking is not very good in this game.
Yeah, Splatana is just not very good. I don't know why people are arguing this should be the flagship when Bow is so much better.
Bow is one very good weapon. I think the skill floor holds it back, but I think it is like top of B, maybe low A. I would
argue Aerosprays in that spot. I think Stringer is very solidly B. Until people become gods with this weapon, I don't think its kit is very good.
I want to be that person.
I think the one thing holding it back is that its paint still isn't the best. Like, it's not bad for it. I just wish it painted better.
I think that for what it does, I think that the paint is fine, because, like, the main thing that it has over other weapons of similar range is the fact that it can arc its shots over cover, as well as, like, be able to harass even on a whiff, technically. Like, you don't get as much out of hitting with the explosive shots, but it's still chip damage, and that is still valuable.
I don't think it's bad. The problem is just, right now, it's a weapon that is currently too hard to go to its upper limits.
Yeah, plus we haven't seen it in action in the ranked modes yet, so...
And I'd argue its kit's not very good. And it doesn't paint very well, which also holds its kit back.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? That description you gave it kind of makes it kind of comparable to Explo, actually.
I think that if Tri-Stringer has a variant with a better kit than Mist Killer Whale, that is going to be one of the scariest weapons in the game.
I'm just gonna put this here for a second, and then I'm gonna put it back.
Anyway,
Just say it.
yeah, it wasn't in the demo, but I would probably put Nautilus as being one of the worst weapons in the game as well. But yeah,
It's really bad.
it's
It's still a Nautilus. It's still gonna, like, if you walk at it, it's gonna kill you in like 3 seconds.
but the rest
but
of
it-
its kit doesn't
it
help it like at all.
But it has nothing to do.
Yeah. But yeah, as for weapons in the demo, Junior C.
Junior C.
Junior
Yeah,
C.
it's not as
Bottom
bad as the
C, even
Splatana,
at
but
that.
it's like
It's just everything it can be compared to. It's significantly worse than, and its kit's not very good.
only thing
like-
it's got going for it is Double Bomb, and it is the worst user of Big Bubbler by far out of all the weapons we've seen so far.
It gets nothing out of its special. Like,
I-
why did you give it that?
You know, this is gonna be the first time that the custom Junior kit's gonna be the good kit.
Yeah, true.
Honestly, yeah.
Watch as they give it Zipcaster.
Watches, they're all bad. All 3 of them are gonna be terrible.
Watch them give it Zipcaster. We don't know we're getting 3 yet.
Yeah.
That's true.
Roller.
Well,
Can I give Splat Roller a B tier?
sure.
I don't disagree with that. Yeah.
I think that
I'll put it at the top of B tier right now.
Yeah. It has everything it could ever want. It has the big bubbler, which again, we've talked about. It allows it to not only draw a ton of attention, but also just lets it win fights. Even if it is super telegraphed, Curling Bomb lets it have the mobility it always wants. We already knew that a Curling Bomb Splat Roller has been good.
I think I'm just gonna put it in A tier. I don't
know
the
if it's
best
gonna be-
roller has ever been. It is the best roller has ever been.
1000% yes. I don't know if it deserves A tier because of the fact that I think that it is still very specialized in what it does. But we'll see, I think. I think there's an argument to be made for either A, like low A, high B.
Yeah. I think it is like better than Aerospray and Stringer by a good bit, so I'm gonna put it in A tier. I'll see if I still feel that way by the end.
Yeah.
Speaking of A tier, Tentambrella.
Umbrella, yeah. I would not put it in S plus only because of the fact that it still gets bombed out, but it is.
It doesn't have MPU to give it more durability.
Yeah.
There's also no bomb rushes in this game, so there's no real easy way to shred it in this one. So
No, I would say that the thing that actually the special that actually probably stuffs Tenebrella the most is actually Killer Whale because it's a laser that just pierces it.
yeah.
Why do you hate me?
But yeah, other than that, just gonna be a really solid weapon. Very good defensively, good to like help push because of the fact that its shield is big, it's durable. It has the ability to help reinforce with beacons, and Inkvac is dumb.
It's a perfect support kit.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
just a good frontline support. Basically, that's basically all it is, and that's good.
Yeah.
On the subject of other good weapons, possibly like high A tier as well, if not S plus, 52 gal.
No, that is very solidly in S plus.
Yeah. Like again, we already knew that a 52 gal with a wall is terrifying, and even though
They
it traded
did it
down,
again.
they traded down for the special, but it is still pretty damn good.
If they gave it Booyah Bomb again, it would be with NZAP. Just let that sink in for a bit.
Yeah, I think nerfing the special will definitely keep it in line, but like, I
think it's worse than Tetra, but
it's still gonna be scary in 1v1.
Very few things are actually better than Tetris, let's be honest.
It's still gonna be
The
scary in 1v1 because of the fact that Wall just gives it so much, makes it hard to break through, and Killer Whale itself, like, also basically just says, I win this 1v1 now, but yeah, 52 gal is gonna be a menace, and similarly, I feel similarly about the Pro. That I think that its mid special is the only thing stopping it from being very good.
Okay, we sang praises of the angle, right?
Yeah.
I still don't think it's a great sub for it. I think it's worse than the arrow spray.
You think it's worse than the arrow spray, really? I don't agree with that.
I think it's a great crab user, but in the base game, there's going to be a much better crab user.
That
in
is
the Black
true.
Chromatic.
That is true.
And while Angle Marker is a good sub for it, it is not. It's a good sub that allows it to do more of already what it wants to do. It is not a sub that allows it to do something that the main gun can't do, which is stall.
Yeah, I think the main thing that I would say with the Pro is that I think that what might hold it back is the fact that the angle shooter, much like the main weapon itself, is going to require good aim to use to its fullest. So the skill floor, again, going to be pretty relatively high in order to use it, fittingly for its name.
I don't think it's going to be high. I think the ceiling is low. I think there's only so much you can do with this gun.
A little column B, I think, because like the angle shooter's like actual damaging hitbox is extremely narrow.
Yeah, but I think this is worse than the arrow spray, because the arrow spray like paints really well. It has a ranged option that it doesn't normally have, which can help stall people out. And then if people want to rush it, it just resliders and then cancels it early. Then says, "All right, try it again."
Yeah.
Whereas Pro is like, "I'm going to kill you. Now I'm going to kill you harder. Now I'm going to kill you even harder." Okay, but what if we just don't fight you? Does not compute.
I don't know. I feel like it might be a little hard to ignore, but yeah. Let's just get back to another solid weapon.
It's paint is better though. They did buff the paint, so I'll give it that.
That is nice. Yes.
Yeah.
Can we just talk about Splatter Shot, the regular Splatter Shot as well, real quick?
You mean the T-Tech from Splatoon 1 and why it is an S tier weapon?
I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I mean, that's why I still like Sloshers there. It basically got the same kit again.
The fact that it's broke means people do want it to be fixed.
I could see its special charge potentially being nerfed at some point, or maybe like just like how expensive like the sub is, but I don't know.
I don't actually think there's anything you need to hit on this gun.
No.
I think this gun is perfectly fine right now.
Yeah, it's not going to be the first weapon it's not going to be the first weapon, but it's basically the second weapon that you have access to because of the way leveling tends to work. So
this is going to be the weapon I highly recommend for this game, just because I don't want NZAP. I don't want to recommend someone NZAP and just have them farm the Tacticooler.
Yeah, like
you're gonna have to stop them because Zap, you earned very early.
I want to give them the Splatter Shot to force interaction, and then that's gonna make, if they want to play Zap, it's gonna make their Zap gameplay better.
If you want to learn how to get good at Splatoon, pick up Splatter Shot. It is just going to be a solidly good weapon.
It's going to punish you for making mistakes. It's going to reward you for making good plays.
Yeah, and it's just always going to be good. Like,
and that translates to every weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Like, nothing you learn on Splatter Shot isn't going to be true for every other weapon. Unlike Aerospray. Anyway.
Sometimes being the all-rounder is a good thing.
Yeah.
So what weapon do we want to talk about next?
Yeah, we're kind of getting to a whole bunch of weird ones.
I'll start. Splat Dooleys are in the A tier.
What was its sub again?
It was Suction Bomb.
Suction Bomb. Ooh. That's costly. I kind of worry about its ink efficiency, but I honestly, I think it might be good because of how it interacts with squid rolls.
Yeah, this is the weapon I saw people going insane with. Mm-hmm. Also, it has crab, and it's gonna have crab more than Pro.
Yeah, it paints better than Pro. I mean,
it has a suction bomb, which means it can just throw things at objectives and interact.
Yeah.
So this is why I wanted Pro in the B tier, because I think putting it at the same as Splat Dooleys is just not realistic.
Mm-hmm. Hydrate, by the way.
But I also don't think Splat Dooleys are like S+.
Yeah, I would say that they're going to be a good weapon. Just, like, again, Squid Roll buffed Dooleys something fierce. It is crazy.
Dooleys are fun again.
I'm so happy. As a Dooleys enjoyer, I am very happy.
It's fun again.
All right.
People are going to be happy.
Let's keep the trend going. now, I think, with some stuff. I want to talk about Try.
This is a Rainmaker gun. It is only for Rainmaker. Do not play this in anything that isn't Rainmaker.
It has Inkjet, and it is still a Try, if I'm not mistaken. What was its sub again?
It is Toxic Mist. Which is
Overall a downgrade, but it's fine.
Overall, it's not.
This weapon is only for Rainmaker.
Yeah.
But it's really good in Rainmaker, so it gets to be in the B tier.
Maybe low B, yeah.
Very situational, not really great anywhere else. I'd say higher than Stringer, but
I'd say on par. I don't care what order we put these in, if it's higher or lower. I think you could put them overlaid on top of each other, and I would agree with it.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I think we're close enough that it doesn't really matter.
I'll put it under just because Stringer can play more modes.
Yeah, Stringer is more versatile, far more versatile, but yeah.
The problem is you are not, special forming on this weapon is going to be hard.
Gonna be a little hard, yeah.
Octobrush is the best user as Zipcaster, and I think this weapon is high B tier.
Yeah, I can agree with that. It is already a weapon that's good at assassinating, and giving it the thing that makes it assassinate better is definitely good.
Yeah, and it doesn't eat through the duration of the Zipcaster too fast, unlike the other Zipcaster in Luna, which is gonna be low B tier.
Yeah.
Luna, I feel as if Zipcaster made a lot of sense for it, but the way Zipcaster works is holding it back.
Just does not work for Luna.
If you get one shot, if you miss that one shot, you are not getting another.
Yeah, it's a little unfortunate.
Luna could have been, if Zipcaster's duration gets buffed, Luna could be moving up. But so would Brush.
Yeah.
But right now, the only weapon that we have that Zipcaster actually functions on the way it should function is the Brush. And I think Brush is a good weapon in this game.
How do we feel about the other Brush, then?
What did Ink Brush have again?
It had Killer Whale, and it was the best Killer Whale user by far.
It can spread out the Killer Whale shots very efficiently because of how fast it is.
It basically can make it so that it can run at people, and they can't stand their ground because of being Killer Whale.
Yeah. It covers their approach so well.
It's a perfect combination. It's a synergy.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have it in A tier, along with Tent and Roller.
You have that combined with a Tacticooler buff, and I am terrified.
I don't even think it actually gets anything from Tacticooler. I think this is a completely independent weapon that doesn't need it.
I mean, I more am talking about the situation of the QR basically helping it in the sense that, all right, you stopped at my push. I'm coming back real quick.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, but that's everybody with QR pretty much.
I feel like it's more pronounced on people who already want to run comeback QR stuff. By the way, I think comeback might be really good with Tacticooler being in the meta.
Probably.
Yeah.
The question isn't going to be is comeback good. The question is going to be is it better than LDE? Which we'll see a tournament on Splatoon 3 in 4 days.
It depends. I feel like comeback is already situational depending on what you run. So
I'm going to say this now before I forget. By the way, one of us should definitely make a note to talk about that tournament in the next podcast 2 weeks from now.
Oh, because PAX is this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, we're 2 weeks from now is when we're going to have our next podcast, is what I meant.
Fair enough.
Because,
Oh, yeah, I'll have a lot to say.
Game will be out. We'll have had a Nintendo tournament and an actual tournament. So
I'm going to be making notes for my comp team Impulse, and I'll have a lot of opinions on the actual game by then.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be a good discussion. But back on topic.
So yeah, I think the Brush is very good. The only problem with Brush is I think it's not going to fit into too many team comps.
Yeah, I think it's hard to run because of the fact that all right, it is a close range Slayer weapon. So why aren't you running Slosher or Splatter Shot?
Tetras.
Or Tetras.
Even.
It's
Which just slot any comp. Or Splatter Shot does at least.
Yeah, and those weapons I think have just are much easier to use and are less limited than the Brush, because the Brush has its speed and ability to kill when it actually does get in, but it's less versatile.
It just synergizes with less weapons.
Yeah,
still very short range, and you're not gonna have special all the time.
Yeah, like it paints decently, but again, it's like only around it. It doesn't paint from range at all.
You could run this and the tent together, and you could have a perfectly fine baseline for a composite.
Probably, yeah.
You just need end zap and then something with range. You could probably
Okay.
run a pro.
Uh,
Okay.
Dynamo?
Yeah.
Dynamo is an anomaly.
modern.
I don't know what to do with this thing.
It has tactic cooler, so automatically it's going to be decent, but it's
Decent.
not zap levels of decent.
It's better than I think it's a little bit worse than Aerospray, but it's better than Pro. Just by having tactic cooler.
Tactic cooler by itself does make it a viable option for like slower paced teams, I suppose.
It's just not gonna get it very often, and Dynamo is not better in this game.
Does it still
It
have
doesn't-
Sprinkler as its sub?
Yes. Yes.
It's a little unfortunate.
It's just it still has all the mobility problems Dynamo
You
has.
ever wanted to play full support on a roller? Play Dynamo.
Alright, I'm gonna come in with a controversial opinion. I
What?
think the Splatfest is really good.
What did it have again?
It was Sprinkler Tripling Strike.
I see your point.
It's currently the best spammer of the Tripling Strike. Sprinkler doesn't really help, but there have been some people that have said that Brella is like inconsistent. I didn't have inconsistency problems. I just had problems of trying to fight too many people at once.
Yeah, like
Because I felt so good on the weapon.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
that's also always been a problem with the Splatbrella, even in Splatoon 2. It is extraordinarily good at 1v1ing, and I think that giving a triple ink strike is overall a buff to the weapon. The fact that it doesn't really have a sub is a little bit disappointing, but I think it's still going to be pretty good. Just hard to use because of the fact that it's, by default, it's a Brella.
Yeah, I think it's not as good as the Tentabrella, and I could like see moving it down a tier, but I think if we move it down a tier, I'd say it's better than the Aerospray. Maybe
I would-
a little bit.
I would say that it probably belongs in A. I kind of agree with that because of just because of how strong it is in a 1v1, and like it is just like one of the best duelists in the game, and Tripling Strike is a significantly good buff for it.
Yeah. So I felt really good when I played it. I just didn't put as much time as I wanted because I was putting time on tent and learning other weapons.
So we accidentally left almost all the backlines for last, so let's just get rid of the last non-backline we haven't talked about yet, which is the Blaster.
Blaster feels good. Blaster feels good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
think it's the bottom of A tier, but I think it's like solidly A tier. The only thing stopping it from like being in the mid or high A tier is just it doesn't paint.
Yeah, I mean, that's always been blasters, though. Like, very few of them actually have anything resembling decent paint. I would say the Clash is, like, the only one that kind of does, but that's the Clash, and that we also didn't get the chance to play that, so...
It's worse than Roller, but...
Yeah.
It feels smooth. It's so much better than 2. Like, a lot of things. How the camera works. How the ink looks. The pace of the game. It's one of those... I am better because the game is better.
Yeah. I can see that, yeah. So, yeah, Blaster, solidly good. Alright,
Which
let's
of
get
these
the...
backlines do we want to take on first?
Let's go with
We
the
got 3 weapons
Splatlings.
left.
Yeah, let's go with the Splatlings.
Okay.
I think Hydra's actually good in this game.
A-tier good?
I think it's A tier good. I didn't see it hardly ever.
Well,
Like,
yeah.
No one really was touching it, yeah.
It's not. I saw it occasionally. I bullied it a bit because I was playing. Stringer, and like the fact, and you know, the Stringer's just good at poking, and it can't get away from that poking very well. But
The one problem that Hydra has is there's going to be the focus of a lot of displacement specials, but I mean, Hydra's always been you need to focus it with displacement specials, and now it has a good special to go with it.
I think that anyone that has the ability to get set up with the Hydra is going to be a menace. But
Yeah.
if you never allow the Hydra to set up, it's never going to be a problem. So it's a pretty crippling weakness, I think. So I don't know if I want to say A tier good.
I think with how aggressive most weapons are going to be in this game, it's going to give it time to set up more.
Potentially, but like that is going to be relying more on your team than on itself to get set up.
I also just think the kit is a lot better than it's been. Like,
That is fair. That is fair.
Booyah Bomb is still good. Like, it's an A tier special on its own. And I don't think it's like in the high tier, but I look at all the B tier weapons and it's like, yeah, no, it's significantly better than these.
Alright. Well,
Heavy. I don't know where to put heavy.
Sprinkler is the thing that's holding me back with that one.
I mean, its main's still good. I guess you could argue maybe it's specialized use, especially for a heavy, because it doesn't really have to move.
I think high B is correct.
I'm between high B and low A.
Yeah, like, the thing that I think is good about the heavy is the fact that with the combination of itself and Wavebreaker, it is extreme area denial for the time that that special is up.
I think I'm going to move Luna down to C, just because this doesn't get anything out of Zipcaster.
That is fair. But yeah.
The more I look at it, where it is just looks wrong to me.
That is fair. Also, Junior was a little lonely there. But the Splatling, Heavy Splatling, I think is going to be a solid choice if you want to do the area denial thing. I think it's going to be really good in zones, in particular.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Splatter Shot,
to some extent, also in Clan Blitz.
I'm gonna say Splatter Shot S+.
Splat Charger? Yeah, I'd agree.
It's got vacuum. It's got a bomb.
Yeah.
It's got less limitations put on it than Tent does.
I want to pick your brain real quick. Do you think that this set would be better or worse with wall like the Firefin had?
I think it doesn't need it. I think you're able to rotate fast enough with this weapon as is. I think if you ever have a moment where you want to stand your ground, you're just popping back.
Yeah. As for like scope versus unscoped, that's always been a preference thing, I think.
Most people, I mean, scope, you technically do get a little more range, so it is technically better.
Yeah, but you're giving it peripheral vision. Is that really what you want?
Vision and mobility.
If you're a good enough charger, you're gonna have the muscle memory.
Yeah.
Like, you're already gonna pick out where you're going to shoot before you start scoping.
Yeah, I think that overall, I would say that, like, the difference is there, but I don't think it's, like, significant enough. Like, technically, scope is slightly better, but, like, I also think that with the mobility tools in this game, I actually want to know something. I didn't test this for myself. Can you hold a charge and then squid roll with that charge still held?
Yes.
Okay. That is going to give it an edge for at least one edge compared to the extra range.
For the chargers, I'm just gonna put the scope version next to their regular. I'm not gonna order those.
Yeah. So last but not least, for the weapons that we had available in the demo, there is the E-Leader.
It's a B tier. It's a little bit worse. It's like a little bit worse than Tri-Stringer.
They gave it
a lot of E-Leaders.
They gave it Wavebreaker, if I remember correctly.
The problem is you have to be a lot more aggressive and close to the things. Your extra range just doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, like, I for one like the idea of the E-Leader not being, like, in order to be as effective as it can be, it doesn't want to fight at its absolute maximum range because of the fact that otherwise then it's just not interacting with the rest of the game other than sniping people.
Yeah, but the problem is I get into the argument, then just pick regular charger. Because then you are playing at your maximum range, and you have a better special. And a bomb.
And a bomb. Yeah.
I mean,
this is nothing about E-Leader. This is about how the game plays. E-Leader, with its special of Wavebreaker, does not want to be at the very back.
No, it doesn't. It wants to be, like, toward the front. Like, it wants to be, like, somewhere in the mid. It wants to be more, like, in the mid because of the fact that you can't throw the Wavebreaker that far.
and it's still gonna counter the heavy splatling, but the heavy splatling is just a better Wavebreaker user because that's heavy splatling already had this thing where it wanted to be more aggressive than its range said it should be.
I think the main
giving
thing is that
just plays into it.
when you're positioned more aggressively with the weapon, I guess you could also just say that, like, yeah, when you actually take engagements that are, like, in the middle of your range rather than at the tip of your range, it does make it harder for your target to get away from you.
Yeah.
So there is that.
Yeah, it's just at that point you're at like, okay, if they're outside of charger effective range, they're outside of most things effective range, and I don't care.
I'll also
Effective.
I'll also say for the E-Leader specifically, I would probably deliberately order the scope over the normal version because it's already not a paragon of mobility.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not about, like I said, I'm just putting them next to each other so they're next to each other. I'm not ordering the scope versus unscope. I'm just ordering it based on the other weapon.
But yeah.
Is there anything that stands out? Just kind of looking at it before I hit save.
I feel as if this list is mostly accurate.
Yeah, I really have no objections.
I feel a lot better after moving Luna down.
Yeah, I would kind of agree. Luna is one of the weapons that I felt like had a lot of potential with Zipcaster, and I think if Zipcaster itself ever gets buffed, Luna is going to suddenly jump a tier.
I think the only thing that I might come back to and be like, oh, this might have been inaccurate is just Prella.
Yeah.
But I felt really good with it, and I guess I'm the only one that spent significant time with it, so.
Yeah, I mean, I gave it a game. I didn't feel that great to me, but that's just because I'm not really a fan of umbrellas. So,
like, I will admit it might just be like how much I love the weapon, but it felt really good to me. So I feel like mid A is fair.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. Yeah. So we're wrapping up this particular tier list, but are there any honorable mentions of the weapons that were not in the demo that we know the kits of?
Splash is going to be S+.
Yeah.
That has Burst Bomb Crab. It's going to be the crab.
Yeah, 1000%. I agree. The Splash has always been a solid weapon, giving it crab, and, keeping the Burst Bomb is very good for it.
96 Gal is going to be a weapon that you have to at least consider in tower control.
Yeah.
Because it has vacuum.
96, yeah, vacuum with 96 is definitely something that I'm going to be worried about. I am a little sad about the sprinkler, but it's going to be good.
I think vacuum is going to be a special people have to plan around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just because it counters so much, it's the counterplay special in this game.
It's not about. You don't need to have one, but you need to have a plan.
If one does happen, yeah.
You have to bear that in mind. It's like sometimes your kit will have an inbuilt answer to it, like a triple ink strike, like a killer whale, but
any team that has a slosher player is going to be playing triple ink strike.
Yeah.
Or they're going to be playing K Machine or the Machine, which is busted apparently.
Oh yeah, Machine got fizzy.
Tetra.
The Machine got its fizzy back, but also a good special.
Yeah, it's better than Tetra.
Well, refresh my.
Gootuber's viable.
What did the Gootuber have again?
Missiles.
Yeah, it's viable. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It's better than Squiffer.
It is a
Gootuber. You're actually relevant now.
It's a high damage mid range charger that just actually has the ability to harass like even outside of its range, which is just great.
CDS, I need to see.
It has Wavebreaker. I think it probably will be one of the best Wavebreaker users in the game.
It's either that or heavy. My one concern with CDS is, did they fix the bullet size? Did they unnerf the bullet size?
That is going to make or break the weapon, yeah.
Because the reason it is not played right now is because it is just way too hard to play the effectiveness that other weapons can do the same. So.
Yeah.
Which nozzle has tactical again?
Flingza has missiles again.
Which nozzle has tactical again?
H3.
That one's gonna be a threat.
Point sensor tactical. No.
Not
You
because
just-
of point, just because of tactical.
the only reason to pick it over NZAP is pride. And
Kinda,
pride's
yeah.
not a good reason to pick a weapon.
H3 still has the ability to kill. The problem is that
Yeah.
it doesn't paint nearly as well.
No, the problem is that NZAP now has gotten the ability to kill better.
Yeah. Also, again, perpetual chug jug dispenser.
Yep.
Like, we cannot understate that. We cannot overstate that enough. NZAP.
I like how no one has questioned this name.
No.
No.
Tacticooler, as it turns out, is a very
I
good
heard-
special, and NZAP being able to spam it as well as it can makes it a complete fucking menace.
I had Sonic call it this one time in our team chat, and it is all my team has called it since.
It makes sense. That's why no one's questioned it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Utterly absurd weapon. Utterly absurd, every special. I am... It is going to get nerfed at some point. I just don't know when.
Get rid of its accuracy. Make it paint less. Or are you talking about Tacticooler?
Yes.
I'd rather nerf NZAP.
I mean, Tacticooler, like I said before, get rid of the perfect special saver. That's excessive.
I'd like to point out, Zap is fine every game. It's not because of Zap why it's fine. It's always either it's special or it's bomb. Or both.
Yeah. Other than that,
It just does everything in this game.
I'm not aware of too many other potential standout weapons. I think it is...
Squeezer's gonna be good.
Squeezer's already good.
Wall Trizuka.
Yeah, that's a solid
Why
pick
did you
for
give
it.
Squeezer a wall?
So
I would
Sonic
say that
plays-
I would say that it is a downgrade to Splat Bomb, but it is still a good sub.
I mean, it's still a wall and it has range.
I would argue Trizuka is a downgrade to Bubbles, but that's not.
Yes, because bubbles were just so good because once people found out about Instapop.
But neither of those things is why Squeezer was good.
Yeah, true.
Squeezer's good because it just lasers you from across the stage.
Yup.
Yep.
But Undercover has Reef Slider, I think.
Yeah. That's gonna make Undercover a little better, but the fact that Undercover still is
There's Undercover.
Undercover is still gonna hold it back.
Undercover's gonna have the most canceled Reef Sliders.
Absolutely.
Because people
Probably.
are already gonna be shooting at it. They're gonna pop it, and they're gonna wonder how they died in the 0.5 seconds that it takes for them to actually become intangible.
Yeah, like, theoretically, after a Reef Slider, they could pull out their Brella immediately by holding ZR, but, like...
You have to get there.
Yeah, getting to that point is gonna be hard.
That also requires a shot to actually get off. Have fun.
It also still has all the weaknesses Undercover does.
Mm-hmm.
I forget what L3's kit is. I know everyone was saying the Rapid was good.
Shit, what did Rapid have? What's it?
I don't remember.
I don't either, if I'm gonna be honest, but I think the Rapid was actually kind of decent.
Sploosh should be good if they didn't neuter Hammer.
Yeah, Sploosh has an ideal kit, but Hammer sucks in this game, so,
Yeah.
oops.
They made Hammer!
Oh, that also kind of hurts Mini, honestly.
Yeah, similar deal with Mini. I think if either of those weapons had Reef Slider, they'd be better, though Mini arguably less so, but,
If they
yeah.
just left Hammer alone, these weapons would be B tier at the lowest.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think they're gonna be crowding up C tier.
Jet's not going anywhere for anyone that hates the Jet's culture.
I mean, it has VAC now, so have fun with that.
Yeah.
That disgusts me.
Dapples is a funny kit.
Dapples is weird. It's always been weird.
Beacon Tacticooler.
I'm like, what the fuck is a Dapple doing with these things? I mean, I don't think the Dapple players are going to be complaining, but what?
It's going to be the most selfish Tacticooler you've ever seen.
Yeah? Like, that's probably going to be the solo queue Tacticooler, what you see there.
Yeah, except Zap's just better, but anyway. Ballpoint, I think, has Inkjet. Again.
That's nice.
It is. It's just,
Probably just going to be a solid Rainmaker weapon.
Probably.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's still a ballpoint, so...
I want to ask this. What do you think is going to be good in like Tower and Clam Blitz? We haven't really touched much on those modes.
Crab.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Crab, tacticaler again, because if you throw it on the tower, I don't think you're really getting shot at.
I mean, tacticaler in general is going to be good, no matter what situation, no matter what mode. So I don't think we need to discuss that.
I think Tent's main niche is actually going to be in Clam Blitz, just because, like, beacons...
It creates safe openings.
Well, it's more that the beacons allowing people to get back in from their tacticoolers.
Yeah, like, it's safe and constant openings. Like, that's what Tent is, that's one thing that Tent is really good at creating. And when Clam Blitz is all about, you need to get your team at the basket in order to keep a push going, that's kind of important.
The interesting thing is there's not that many bombs.
Yeah, so the amount of lethal bombs there are actually just lower on average, which is interesting.
It'll make tower control very interesting because bombs suddenly become a lot more important in Rainmaker and DC if there's less of them.
Yeah. Bomb weapons suddenly become like really good. I actually think that of all the modes, I think that Tri-Stringer is probably going to be worst in Rainmaker just because of the fact that its base kit has like no object damage at all.
And also inconsistent kill time, which Rainmaker, if you are not deleting someone immediately, you need to have a really good reason to pick your weapon.
Yeah.
It's just a super aggressive mode. That's at the end of the day. I mean, it's still my least favorite, but like, we'll see if Splatoon 3's checkpoints actually change that.
Just going to state for the listeners that is not a reason to pick E-Leader in Rainmaker. That weapon is slow because it takes so long to charge.
Yeah. I think it's also considered a heavy weapon, isn't it?
It is, and if you miss one weapon, you literally lose.
But yeah, I think that overall, Crab Tank in general going to be good in Clam Blitz, just because for similar reasons, Baller was decent in Clam Blitz for a while.
Well, it's more just that you become a Hydra.
Yeah, that too.
You get to overwatch everything, which is really good to allow your teammates to just score. It's also going to be good for defense. But Tents just it's going to be beacons in Clam Blitz are going to be good, especially if you have something that is able to keep people that are bringing Clam safe, like Vacuum is going to do.
I think weapons like Machine are probably going to shine, particularly in tower control with
Tetris is going to be really good on Rainmaker because it can break areas really easily.
Yeah. It can break and be super annoying because it gets to do Tetra things.
That's going to be one of the few weapons that runs QR normally, because what else does it need to run?
I mean, yeah, like, that's the thing. It's like, Tetra already just wants to be a QR slave, so, like, might as well also, like, I think also it's probably going to be the weapon that's going to run comeback pretty consistently as well.
The only alternative for Tetra was MPU, and there's no MPU.
Yeah, there's no MPU, so, like, what the hell else are you going to do?
There's nothing competing with what you want to do, so you're just going to run MPU.
Yeah, it's like, you probably run value subs, you run the, you run value subs, and then you just stack as much QR as you like, and come back your LDE to slap on in your head slot.
Yeah. Oh. I want my hands on the game. I want to make sure that things play out the way I think they play out. I want to make sure that interactions work how I think they should. But the first 3 months is just going to be people trying to get to S+50.
True.
So I'm not sure.
It'll be interesting with everyone basically being a B- at the start.
Yeah. Outside of scrims, I'm not sure how much valuable information I'm gonna get.
So yeah,
feeling things out.
I think overall we've covered our tier list pretty thoroughly. How we feel about all the weapons and specials in general. Any minor things? Any minor topics you guys want to bring up from what we saw in the Splatfest? Like, for instance, I've got one. The new lobby, being melded with the training area. Good. 1000% great. I love this.
Yeah.
The way that the new lobby system works
we have things to do now while we're waiting for matchmaking.
It is beautiful. It is great for warm up. It is great for just aim training in general while you're waiting for matches. You can fuck around with your teammates if you want. It's great. I love it.
How do you guys feel about no contest since we have that as a thing now?
I'm
For
gonna love it
the
in ranked. In turf, it's annoying,
Yeah.
oh yeah,
but I'm gonna love it in ranked.
oh yeah, 100%. Like just having an early DC and just like okay, match is called off now. Like
I don't
that
have,
is
I don't have to worry about if the Nintendo overlords just decide to forget that there was a DC.
yeah. I do want to know the one thing that I want to know about that is does that also apply to PBs?
I have no idea.
Because
No
if
clue.
if it does, well, I mean, that's the new DC rule, I guess.
I
We'll
would
have to
assume
see.
it probably is more lenient.
It might be more lenient in PBs, but yeah, that's gonna be just like we're just gonna need to test that.
Yeah,
Thankfully,
I
that is going to be piss easy to test, but yeah.
it's one of the things is just like I don't know. I need my hands on it. Got to figure it out. Just
Mm-hmm.
like I'm confident that missiles is on the A tier, but it's also like, well, maybe it changes more things than I think. But I need my hands on it to know that for sure.
Yeah. Like, there's a whole bunch of other factors that we don't really know about. Like, what do all the maps look like in all the rank modes? Yeah, we still don't really know that 100% yet. How are people going to end up? How are these? How are all these theories going to be put into practice? Like, what team comps are going to suddenly rise up that challenges what our perspective of what is good? How are things going to change between now and release? We have no idea. There's still plenty of things that numbers and stuff that could be tweaked before, and mechanics as well that could be tweaked before, like, and applied via day one patch or something like that. So it's still not 100% certain whether or not everything will shake up the way that we envision it. But based off of what we saw in the Splatfest, this seems like a pretty safe set of guesses right now.
The game just feels more fun, and I'm happy. And I have to wait 8 days to play it again.
Yeah, I'm killing my time however I can, but yeah.
7 days and an hour and 20 minutes. Not that I'm keeping track.
Pac-Man saved me.
I just haven't played anything. I haven't felt like playing anything. Nothing. I played like 2 hours of Dead Cells. It's like this is just not the same. I don't want to play this.
I mean, there's a reason why after Rondo I archived Splatoon 2. I'm like, I can't go back to this after experiencing that.
I also just am not going back. I refuse.
The only reason I'd go back is just to play 96 Gal because I couldn't do that in the demo. But I haven't felt like playing anything. Like how much I liked Splatoon 3 is ruined casual gaming right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, which is weird because the new Magic set just came out. And granted, I didn't care the most about the Magic set to start with, but now it's like now I'm like angry. It's like you're not Splatoon 3. Shut up.
God, yeah. Splatoon 3, I'm unreasonably excited for it now that I've like actually gotten my hands on it. It flows so nicely. I also want to give a shout out to the Splatfest music. I loved the tracks that we had available to listen to.
Yeah, all the tracks were good. I couldn't I couldn't like say all these are great, but it's like everything was easy listening.
Yeah. Also, like, there's a reason why I chose the music that I did for for the intro for the podcast. I love the victory theme for Splatfest. It is the most satisfying thing that I could possibly hear after a one match.
I'm still listening to Splatak every day.
Yeah, then the new version of Splatak, I want to listen to it more.
From the first they changed it a little bit. It's not quite as good, but it's still like in my head.
Yeah. I mean, Splatak is just good. It is the iconic Splatoon song. I am so happy that it's back.
Yeah.
If anyone sees like the original Splatak and the PSL next season trailer, you know who made that decision.
Absolutely. I'm waiting to see what happens when we get to single player, because like that's still that one song from the direct is still like hitting me. And I'm like,
yeah.
all right, this is what we could have gotten if Order had won. I want more of this. So
Oh yeah. I want to talk single player a little bit on the next episode because of the fact that I will have done a significant amount of it, I think, by the time, if not completed it by that point.
That'll be funny because I might not have touched it by then.
are you going straight into?
Oh, I'll definitely like just look at a rotation, just be like, that's not worth it, and then just go into single player for a while.
I see. I might go straight into Salmon Run with the Firefin people.
Oh my gosh.
Salmon Run looks fun for the first time.
I would agree.
Looks fun.
I would agree. I think that Salmon Run might actually hold my attention a lot better than Splatoon 2.
My original plan was to play multiplayer, but certain people have school, and that might make that impossible. But
I mean, I'm going to be there immediately, and I know for a fact that I want to just go all in.
there's just so much to do in 3. And then I'm also going to want to scrim and play Anarchy Open with my competitive team. So,
God,
yeah, I might legitimately have not touched the single player at all.
I actually kind of like, with how passionate I feel about like this game, with how passionate I feel about actually like maining the bow, even like with the tri-stringer, I kind of want to go competitive, like truly competitive myself, but like I don't know if I have time.
I don't have open slots for you, and I promised it to someone else if they're
I wasn't going to ask you. I don't think I'm good enough to be there.
I mean, it's not about whether you're good enough. It's about whether we can teach you to be good enough.
I mean, yeah.
Work ethic's more important.
Look, if you ever, I mean, yeah, I've got that in droves. If you ever have an open slot though, and I haven't been picked up somewhere else,
and A hasn't said no, or we haven't said no to A.
yeah, just like if the slot ever opens up, I'm like I might be interested.
Everyone seems to want to get back into competitive now. Like Red was talking about that. A was saying about wanting to get into.
I mean, can you blame us? I don't think it's a controversial opinion that like a lot of us are not happy with how Splatoon 2's meta ended.
Yes,
No,
I can blame
not
you.
at all.
The reason I joined a comp team is because no one else wanted to.
You know, fair.
Now, granted, I think that was one of the better decisions I made because it separated some friendships from being competitive, but you know, it's not the point. I can blame you.
If not for anything else, and I will tell you this one right now, I have ideas for Splatoon 3 as like a PSL side event. I want to see what the top end is, and I want to see them in our little community.
I just want to know what people want to do first.
Yeah.
On an unrelated note, guys, there's a poll on the PSL Twitter. Do you like the number 18 or 25 more?
Mm-hmm.
There's no conspicuous reason for this to be a poll, but if you're an 18er, 25's winning. And if you're a 25er, guys, 18 is catching up.
Sounds like somebody should get on that.
I'm an 18er, so I don't give a fuck. despite the I won't say I was gonna say I have more connection to the number 25 than the number 18.
I mean, 25 is at least a funny meme SpongeBob number. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, but 18.
18.
But no, it
Yeah.
means nothing whatsoever. Just pick your favorite number.
Game looks good. I do want to briefly mention Table Turf as something that I might just get into as like a fun little distraction if there's good if there's something in it for getting invested in it that helps in multiplayer. But if not, and it's just kind of like its own little thing that's just kind of separated from everything else, I'm kind of fine with that as well.
Probably be tags and stickers. Stuff for the locker, maybe.
It would be definitely good for a side event if it's something you can hook up for that.
I just don't have any interest in it. I might generate interest later if people want to play, but It hasn't caught me.
No multiplayer table
Kinda-
turf at launch. Well, that torpedoes that idea for a little bit.
Like, kind of like how Salmon Run in Game 2 in the Splatoon 2, it's like, it just hasn't caught me. I'm not saying it won't. Salmon Run never did, but until now, because just throwing eggs.
Throwing eggs is honestly a huge game changer, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it like breaks out a lot of the tedious, so I can just play the game more.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It hasn't caught me yet. It could. I know there's plenty of people around me, including you and Red, that are planning on playing it. So
I feel like it's probably going to be like my third option for like wanting to do something in Splatoon, but like not wanting to do multiplayer.
I think it's literally, for me, it's probably just going to be someone I know wants to play this, and I don't want to tell them no, because I just want to. Sometimes I just want to hang out with certain people.
That's fair.
Mhm.
But yeah. I'm also just interested to see like how the various PSL teams are going to adapt to the new game, like where people are going to find their new favorite weapons, who's going to stick to their old ones, who's going to pick up new ones, all that good stuff, and where the power scaling is going to end up. Because like new game means there's definitely room for shakeups.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll say that I now know what my third ticket's gonna license is gonna used on.
Yeah,
It's the Tentrumbrella.
Of course.
96 scale, Splash Dramatic, and Tentrumbrella.
that's fair. I'm for sure getting the bow as fast as possible. I might end up using my ticket on that just because. I mean, this is going to be the weapon I'm planning on maining. I think I'm going to get it immediately.
I honestly, I would wait just a little bit to see if it's in the first page.
I think that's fair. At the same time, I don't think I can wait that long.
That's fair. I'm just saying consider it.
I will consider it. Will not say that I will not promise anything though.
Because there might be another. I honestly think you're gonna love Dooleys if you give them a try.
Oh, I'm sure I will too. But I have not fallen for a weapon like I have the tri-stringer like before. Like
I mean, yeah. I mean, once I started getting the hang of it, it felt really good. It's just
I don't know if you actually tuned into my stream at all, but like almost any
No.
time that like I started popping off, I was just elated.
I'll be real. The only stream I turned into all day was Kyo, and that was to watch the EU Splatfest, and after I logged off for the night for the JP Fest.
Yeah, that's fair.
Other than that, I was either at work or playing the game.
That is fair. But yeah, I was like I was madly in love with this weapon, so that I do not think that I am going to be able to hold myself back.
Yeah. But no. I know all three of mine are gonna be late picks anyway, so I'm not really about them being early.
Yeah,
I have to
the
actually rethink about mine because
I don't
Zap
know
and
why.
Aerospray are above early on in the list. So
I have no idea why Splash is always like one of the last weapons. But that's the only one that could be early. There's no way they're putting 10 or 96 early.
I am probably going to end up using one of my tickets on either Splat Dooleys or Dark Tetra Dooleys. Probably Tetra, all things considered.
Now we did bring up a little bit of PSL stuff earlier. Do we want to preview something, or do we want to?
I mean, I'm down.
go for it.
Just say we've been working on some stuff, some new graphics. Someone's been popping off.
Yeah, we're given a big upgrade to our graphics package.
I may have said like 4 days ago, hey, we should do more stuff, and then Icy might have been popping off for the last 4 days. We might be half done.
It might have stalled out today, but
what do you think I should? I'm going to show one on stream. What do you think I want to? What do you think I should show off?
Look, I'm praising Icy. It must be good.
Gee, thanks. The only time I've actually gotten positive feedback from Arbiter.
The only time.
What are you most proud of, Icy? We'll show what you're proud.
I don't know. I like it all, honestly. It's like I've just been having fun. So
I think we show one of the scoreboard, one of the score tickers. Let's see if I can find it real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, if you can find it for me, that'd be great, so I can quickly save it and put it on stream.
I'll just reply to it so it comes all the way down.
Okay.
Because I scrolled up enough. Unless Icy wants to repost it, but it's here.
Whoop.
yeah.
Yes, that one.
I mean, it's the only one that was posted a single of. You can't show everything.
Oh yeah.
Nah, we gotta leave some surprises.
This is oh, maybe we see this sooner than expected.
Now let me just real quick.
Okay, while we're waiting on this, something I figured out later. Did you guys know that the MR was still consistent in the Splatfest?
The what?
MR. It's like you were being paired with people based on what your MR in Splatoon 2 was. Because I did not run into any new players the entire fest.
Whoop. OBS, work with me, please.
I ran into a lot of mid-level competitive teams. And then I watched a thing for Moist Critical, who I think they're a streamer, if you don't know who that is.
Okay, I'm going to fuck up
about.
the resolution for this a bit.
Someone that the people were excited were looking at it.
But it is on stream right now. You can get a very good look at part of this.
He got nothing but new player lobbies. I was literally watching people look straight down at the ground and moving, and I didn't see that one time the entire fest.
Yeah, I would say that like the average skill level that I ran into was like consistent with what I found in Splatoon 2.
And
same, honestly, yeah.
At the same time, it makes me really happy because it meant we were getting quality games based on we are. On the downside, it meant I never ran into any of my friends.
Rip.
Same here, honestly. Everyone was suspecting running into me, and it definitely didn't happen.
I ran into one group I know, and I don't even talk to them.
But yeah, just to mention it, yeah, on stream we have a little bit of a preview of what is in the works.
No ideas. Things are definitely cooking up down there in graphic design land. I'm looking forward to this, honestly.
Icy's popping off.
These images are this is looking really good.
But no, I didn't run into anyone I know, and that makes me a little sad.
Same, honestly.
Yeah, I didn't run into too many people either. I queued with a couple of other people on Team Paper, but like that's about it. I didn't really run into anyone else I knew.
Granted, a lot of my friends were on Rock, but like I never ran into Icy. I never ran into Par.
I think I was playing when you weren't.
Yeah.
But I anyone. I didn't run into any PSL anyone.
Yeah, neither did I.
Honestly, yeah.
Like it was just when I queued with them. Like that was it.
So
little unfortunate, but
I just thought that was interesting. I wondered if you guys ran into anyone.
I didn't. How was rematches for you guys? Because I didn't really have that many.
Rematches?
I mean, not rematches, but same team fights.
None.
Well, we only had two.
I had one. So
Rock technically had the most diversity of teams.
Yeah.
I was Team Paper. I was never going to get a rematch anytime in this universe. Like a same team, rather.
Yeah.
We had so few people. It is actually kind of upsetting.
There were a lot of groups playing. I didn't get a lot of
Yeah. I didn't get a lot of repeat players either.
There was one team my Impulse ran into 3 times. But that was the most we ran into anyone.
Yeah. Anything else? Any other small topics? The new plaza. Did anyone run around it like
Oh,
before
it's
the
so
Splatfest?
good.
It's
Oh,
so
it's.
big. It's
I
like
ran a.
triple the size of like
I
the other zones. It's amazing.
I ran around it so many times. I can't describe. Like, it's so nice. It feels like an actual plaza.
Hmm.
Man, I'm out there getting lost. Like, jeez, there's so much going on.
I haven't gotten lost just because I made it a point to figure out where stuff was first time when it first opened up.
Yeah.
I yeah. How do we? I will also ask how do we feel about the idols since that's also being brought up right now.
I
Big
mean,
Man, Big Man is the best idol, but saying putting him on a tier list is unfair. So the top tier is still Pearl.
look, Big Man's the hero of our generation. My personal favorite is still Shiver.
And
So,
for anyone that is questioning why is Pearl top tier, can Shiver fry rap? I didn't fucking think so.
I I am torn. I love Deep Cut like almost all equally for different reasons.
There is
I'm
something.
going to be I'm just going to rip this band-aid off right now. I'm gay for Shiver. That's just it. Um as for Fry, she's an adorable dork. I love her. And
I
uh
I
and
like
uh and Big Man is Big Man.
yeah, I like all of them. I'd put them above Squid Sisters. I find Squid Sisters like they were necessary for what they were, but I find them very generic.
I feel like the Squid Sisters work better as like story NPCs than as idols.
I
yeah.
I just think they were needed to be what they are as a proof of concept in one, but I just don't care about them.
That's fair.
Whereas probably next would be like Fry would be the next lowest. There's just something about Fry's eyes I can't get over, and it just looks weird to me. And I can't. It's like droopy. I don't know,
Yeah, that,
but then it would probably be Marina, then probably Marina, then Shiver,
yeah.
then
I
Big
would still
Man,
I still
obviously.
think it's a little too early for me to call for where I feel the whole group is of Deep Cut, but I like them a lot. My gut feeling is telling me that they're going to be really good. I want to see more of their personalities outside of the snippets we've gotten so far.
It's
But
gonna
like
be
I
a
feel like it's
while.
going to be hard to dethrone off the hook.
The yeah, the problem is just like they did Pearl and Marina so well in expansion.
Yeah.
And
It's
the
like
thing is, they're getting more content, so they're gonna probably get more lore.
they're the next viable DLC because you can clearly see their outline. Like, like I don't know, man. It's off the hook is just good.
Yeah, they are. And they're going to be like the fact that they're going to be involved later on is going to be cool to see them back.
I want to see H8.
I do hope that Deep Cut does get their time in the limelight like Octo Expansion gave Pearl and Marina.
I just hope we see H&A.
That would also be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agent 4, I don't know. Agent 4 is kind of a non-entity among all of the Splatoon characters, player
But
characters.
I will say the thing I find really redeeming about Fry is just that southwest Asian like Indian feel. It's really nice. You don't see that in gaming a lot.
Representation is always good.
It's it's better when they do it well. And they did it well.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
So I don't know.
Like I said, I have come around on Fry after seeing some of her dialogue.
I don't dislike any of them. It's just like least favorite is Fry at the moment. Outside of
Yeah,
Squid
I don't
Sisters.
dislike any of them. Fry just hits me the least, but I don't think she's bad.
Yeah. I mean that's not Fry's fault. It's like that's personal preference.
Yeah.
I I mean I got on back I know people got on the whole forehead thing at first. It's like I got on people Like, I vehemently fought people over that when it was Pearl. I'm not gonna, like, start doing it just because it's Fry. It's like, it's such a dumb thing to focus on.
I mean, yeah. If you've like, waifu war is always dumb. If you like who you like, who fucking cares?
Yeah, can't. You like who you like, so just like them.
This is
Unless
me
you're
subtly telling chat to cut it out. By the way.
just don't be a simp.
Oh,
Anyway.
that was riveting.
Anyway, yeah. Some other stuff that I'm really looking forward to in the base game, by the way, in the actual full game. Customization. Just we can overwrite main slots. This is all that I could have ever asked for. The
Yeah.
locker is going to be a lot of fun. Also,
Just saying, that game probably could have used subs in the demo. It was definitely felt that we didn't have subs.
Anyway. Oh, I hope they get rid of Splatfest, like requiring you to wear a Splatfest shirt during Splatfest, or at least let me change the ability doubler to something useful.
I don't know if we're gonna be able to do that. I'd be shocked, and if we could, that would be pretty interesting.
Yeah, if I can change that main ability, I'd be happy. Ability doubler is not a good ability. I don't know why it's banned in Nintendo events.
because it's limited access, I guess, because like you can only have it on the Splatfest tee. I don't know.
Yeah, but everyone got the replica Splatfest team.
I don't know. It's dumb. It was also useless in the demo. It was a blank slot.
Yeah, it was a play slot because there were no subs.
I mean,
Yeah,
all the
cannot-
gear was pretty useless.
I mean, yeah, you could kind of experiment a little bit to see, oh yeah, this weapon likes this gear, and this weapon likes that gear. Like, you know, now that I would probably run like a little bit of run speed on my stringer, for instance, because it turns out I'm doing a lot of strafing with that and helping it stay mobile, you know?
Yeah, the strafe speed's always good to have if you get a good out of it. But yeah,
But yeah, you really like. Other than that, it's like you really couldn't really tell too much like which main abilities you'd want to run because of the fact that like LD not great in turf. It's much better in ranked modes. A lot of the other ones, like I mean, opening gambit's still a meme.
It's, I mean, doesn't help that Junior just didn't really get to take advantage of it. So much for that. But yeah,
I don't know.
top
Everything
that still
is
felt
just,
fine though.
everything is just good.
Yeah, I feel like the tier list is like is in a good place from based on our assessment. It feels like most of the weapons are good and viable, some more so than others, but the fact that these weapons are viable at all means that we are probably looking at a pretty diverse format with the one centralizing end zap ruining everything. And maybe not even ruining, it might be the glue holding the format together.
I wouldn't nerf tactical. Like I wouldn't nerf tacticooler. I would just get rid of fluff because fluff isn't necessary. But
Yeah, we've been over this, but yes.
yeah, like it's such a feel good special. It's literally like it's like an addict getting their drugs.
It's Popeye eating the spinach.
Like the entire Splatoon community's been joking about give me my juice. Juice!
Everyone has become a soda addict as a result of the Tacticooler. Literally everyone.
I just quit soda.
Now you're going back. Crack open a cold one.
I still have one occasionally. I can't quit it entirely. It's just
I mean, yeah.
anyway.
Anything is okay. Most things are okay in moderation.
is 2 liters a day in moderation.
No.
Definitely not.
Okay, I had a problem then.
Yeah, so yeah, not too much else that I want to say. Even from like I will say also like on customization, I also really liked the nameplate stuff. I found at least among the small amount of options that I had Chilled Out Paradigm as my title. I enjoyed that one.
Chaotic sushi.
Attaching teeth and turf cover. I think it was what mine was.
Apt.
Alright,
Yeah.
you have my attention. Now what are you gonna do with it?
Look at me paint.
I'm looking forward to all the different ones we'll be able to unlock via the catalog and whatnot. God, the catalog alone is just going to keep me like playing the game almost daily, just so like I could keep unlocking shit in it.
Okay, how do we feel about the victory animations? And why on earth was the best one? Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Yeah,
God.
thumbs up.
The victory animations I'm very much also looking forward to. I like a lot of the default ones that we saw throughout the fest, but like, yeah, being
The
able to
Charger
have
one's
more.
pretty good.
The Charger one's good. Realistically,
I didn't see the Charger one.
okay, if you've seen the Brella one, I wish it didn't spin at the start. Like if it was just a golf swing into then tossing it in the air, I would like it a lot more.
Because they wanted to go really over the top with it.
That's fine. I just don't like it as much. As a result,
Yeah.
also, Charger being the best one is a lie.
I also just love like this stuff being being something that you can customize, like with victory animations and titles and whatnot. I love the potential fear factor that you can put into an enemy team in stuff like League Battle, for instance.
There's so much to get absorbed in that doesn't matter anything but cosmetically. But the fact that you can get absorbed.
Yeah.
And you don't have to say, oh, but it doesn't have the thing I want. It's like, make it have the thing you want.
Yeah, exactly. You can have your fashion be whatever you want. You can customize how you look. You can just have whatever stupid nonsense equipped, and it can be competitively viable. That's all I ever wanted.
I can wear my Anaki beret.
I'm glad to have that, and 3 just making it easier to grind chunks so I can literally have that my way is great.
I can just wear my Anaki beret with glasses on any set I want and not be upset that it has main saver.
Also, I don't think Arbiter saw it, but the fact we got unique animations for times 100 or times 333 battles.
I saw it on Twitter. I did not see a single times 100 or times 333 battle the entire time I played.
It's kind of interesting that you didn't run into any, because I was getting a ton.
I played 4 hours at GP. I played 5 hours of NA. I played 9 hours. I did not see a single times 100.
I saw one at the very end of my play session, and I lost it.
There were people that got like 5.
I got 6! And won 4 of them.
What the hell? Icy.
I don't know how it happened. I just got a bunch. Which is why I'm even more upset that Scissors got last place, because I was winning so many.
They need to change the point system for Turf War. They need to get half points for place in a category. Because there's no way Scissors was perpetually second in all categories. There's
And we got last. Yeah, and we got 0 points.
Last. Now, you shouldn't have won, because, wow.
Yeah.
Rock decided Mercy was for the weak and that Scissors was weak.
Like, I'm not so upset the fact that we lost. I'm upset at the fact we got 0 points and got last.
It was interesting how that reversal ended up happening, but I don't know. Splatfest or Splatfest, they're weird.
Like I said, every Rock team I saw was on like between 5 to 8 win streaks whenever I got Rock versus. So Rock was just winning the end of that. Like, Rock was just going hard at the end of the fest. That's why Paper's percentage went down by like 3%, and that's why Scissors went down by 3%. Rock was just no mercy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Any other outstanding topics that we want to cover? We've been going for almost 3 hours now, so
There was
Why do
one
the
thing-
participation medals count towards rank? I just feel the need to ask.
because you participated.
Yeah, it's still crazy that it actually adds to a payout, though. That's the thing that gets me.
My favorite thing was on 10. I always got number 1 favorite target.
I got that a bunch too when I was dying like once during a game.
what did that matter? Like, what did that mean actually? Like, most
I was
popular
still trying
You were
to
the
figure it
person that got shot at the most.
Okay, so that is something
You
that
were-
they actually track.
You were in people's reticle the most.
Got it.
Okay, makes sense. Shouts out to me getting number 1 damage taker, and also dying the least on my team. Because
Look, I mean-
got that a bunch to happen.
I mean, that can happen, yeah. Like, if you just
I
take
just find it
damage but
funny it
recover it
happened to
all.
me so often.
But no, the medals are a good touch. I'd still rather just have the score, but they still show you the scoreboard after the game. So
Yeah,
And
after the
they
game,
also show
and there
deaths in
isn't a
game
time.
again. So yay.
Yeah. Yeah, so, and the scoreboard is also just like, you can look at it for as long as you like after the match, regardless of if you requeue or not.
I just
Plus,
want
there's the match history feature, like
in
in-game.
game, which is nice.
Also very nice, yeah. Like, you can look over your last 50 battles in-game now. You don't need to go into the app.
Goodbye,
That's good.
Splatnet 3.
I mean, you're still going to use Splatnet 3 for gear ordering, but that's about it.
You're
Yeah.
gonna see it to see splats and assists, because just because it says you got the most splats doesn't mean you got the most splats.
Most
Because it
splats,
didn't
yeah.
separate assists.
It didn't separate assists.
Yeah, maybe they'll change that before full release, but I doubt it.
I got number 1 overall splatter, and then it said I got 4 less kills than someone else because they got assists.
Yeah.
But it's funny to look at.
Yeah.
Finish the kills. But I don't know. I just want my hands on the game.
Oh yeah, same.
I'm
it's another week of waiting, and we'll get
I'm
there
legit-
eventually.
The only way I can describe how I feel is like post Splatoon 3 depression. But I'm not. I don't know. I just
The
don't feel like
withdrawal
playing
is
anything else.
absolutely real.
I
Yeah.
just don't feel like playing anything else.
I feel like playing several things, but like it's mostly just so I can take my mind off. If I'm not thinking about the game, like I'm fine. But then if I'm ever reminded of it, I'm just like, I want to be firing that bow again. I just really want to be firing that bow again.
I just want to. I want to see what happens at PAX. That's what
I say I'm doing
excited.
that, but then I'm doing all the graphic design stuff. So
I will say, as soon as I hit level 2, by the way, I am going to be looking at Sheldon, and I'm going to be looking at Sheldon's shop, and I'm going to take a look at all the kits that I didn't know about, and I'm going to be probably just like flabbergasted at least a few of them.
I can't believe the only clip I saved for the entire fest was an E-liter quad.
I didn't save any because I was like, I have a VOD of this. I don't need to save anything.
I also didn't save any. That's the thing.
Why?
Though.
How did I not? How did I not save my 8-kill streak on Aerospray using nothing but Fizzy Bomb?
Oh my gosh.
That's incredible.
Why didn't I save that?
I definitely
I thought
had.
I did.
I definitely had more than a few clip-worthy moments just because of the fact that I was like, I got like several like triples and whatnot just like off of the. I never got a quad, I don't think, off of the tri-stringers, but I got triples. I got to lock out people a lot.
I got a couple quads. One of them's on Splatter Shot, so it's not impressive because I play that weapon normally.
Yeah.
I didn't get anything cool with the triple Trizuka because I'm not used to it. I got a quad with Splatana, but I just was not enjoying that gameplay.
Yeah.
Man, I freaking should have gotten something from the 6 Aerospray game, because that game was just Reef-Slider and the Reef-Slider and the Reef-Slider.
I got
It
a
was
quad
a
on,
constant wave of death. It was funny.
I got a quad on roller, but apparently I only clipped half of it.
I'm interested to know, by the way, if you were to make this, how do you think the Splatana needs to be made better? Like, other than
You need to make the hitbox needs to be wider. It needs to paint better, which is part of the hitbox being wider.
Yeah, I think that's fair. The stamp being bad is kind of unfortunate, but yeah,
Fix
the main weapon does need to be a little better too.
Just make the hitbox match how it looks. That's all you need to do to make it okay.
How do they keep getting this wrong?
How do you get it more wrong?
Oh yeah, something else. Something else that I'm being reminded of it because of where we are in the VOD. But like, the squid roll, swim speed seeming to help you maintain momentum, so you can do more of them in a row.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. It's crazy how much a little bit can do.
Yeah, it's like this was just with me having the main of it on, and I got like 3 extra rolls out of it.
Yeah, it gives you 3 extra rolls. That's crazy, but. I stand by thinking you don't actually get anything after the second roll. You're just,
You're just styling at that point, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, it's interesting.
I'm also just find more utility for it because I definitely was not using it a lot during actual gameplay.
I used it when I played Dooleys, and I used it on Tent and Brella. I did not use it on Splatter Shot, and I never used the Squid Surge.
I used the Squid
Surge.
There
wasn't really a lot of verticality at least where you can use Squid Surge. Like, Squid's Gorge is like the only map I can think of that actually got benefit out of it.
I used a little bit of it on Museum as well.
I can think of moments that it would be good. I just never ran into those moments.
I think that Squid Surge works well, mostly as a mix-up tool. Like,
someone knows you're there.
Someone knows you're there, or you can come up in a different manner. You can, like, delay swimming up the wall, charge up that, and go up instead. You can pop up above where you would normally go to throw someone off. Like I said, like, mix-up. That's what it's good for, I think.
I mean, did anyone find... I think I told you guys about the trick where you can roll into instant Squid Surge if you roll into a wall.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that. Yeah.
Probably gonna be the main use. But
like, how does it work again? Can you remind me?
So if you squid dash into a wall, if you hold B for a second, you will instantly surge.
Yeah, that'll help. That'll definitely be the tech that you're gonna need to figure out.
Like, you get a reduced time to charge if you rolled it.
I will also say that the existence of the squid roll also puts a little bit less pressure in needing to do substrafing as frequently, because it kind of does the same thing.
I think you need to do both. I think it's like OP if you use both together.
Yeah, but like it's now not
avoid a lot of things, and you then roll for anything that you can't dodge.
Or again as a mix-up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm using fighting game terminology right now because
yeah. I need to get used to it. I just need to get used to it. There was a couple times where I could have lived if I did it against a... I didn't think of it. But then it is like, after I died, it's like, why didn't I roll? It's like, because I'm not used to it. The same reason, like, aiming up against Splashdown wasn't a thing I knew to do until I actually got used to doing it.
And now we don't need to do it again. Instead, the closest special that we have to Splashdown is now just a punish them after the explosion.
So,
or, because if they ever panic, they die.
Yeah. I don't know. It's really good for, like, Brella and Tent, because you can just reposition your shield.
Anything that wants to fight at close range, yeah. Roller Brush probably can use it too. Splatana if the kit was better.
Yeah.
The Splatana Stamper, I think we've been getting a little bit of info about, but like...
It looks like what Splatana should have been.
Yeah, I think like if anyone's going to use a Splatana, it's going to be that one.
Does 70 damage, has a burst bomb.
Yeah. 1000% going to be a much better weapon than the base one.
Definitely telling me it's better than the Wiper ever did, so...
I'll give that one a shot, probably. I'll probably test that weapon, and I might end up using a ticket on it if it feels good.
I probably won't play it, but I'll just try to be aware of what it can do.
Yeah. I'm also hoping that there is going to be. I'm just also hoping that any stringer variants that might exist are also going to be potentially usable.
Have you seen anything on the small one?
I have
I-
not seen anything. I have heard, however.
I have not heard anything or seen anything, but I've noticed that
I
it
know
is
it
a thing.
exists.
I know it exists. I've not looked into it.
I know it
I
exists,
should.
and it is, from what I hear, in the vaguest of senses, is that it is easier to use.
Yeah.
So it might be the good gateway into the tri-stringer, or it might even be better, depending on
So are we
stuff.
getting like a mini stringer? So it might be like the birds like mini Splatling is for.
Pretty much.
Maybe.
Not
I also
really.
there's also part of me that also wants like a heavy stringer that's just kind of like a fucking like mobile ballista. That'd be funny.
Crossbows.
A crossbow, yeah. I'll do you one better, a machine crossbow. that'd be silly.
All right, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Maybe for Splatoon 4.
Oh god. I already didn't like the Splatana. Anyway, I think we're pretty much expended all that we're gonna talk
Yeah.
about.
I mean, this was still a
Mhm.
good like 3 hours of discussion, so
Well, we gotta
very
last
good.
4 more minutes if we want to make it 3 hours.
Close enough. I don't think I want to stall it too much more. All I really know for a fact is that next episode is going to be 2 weeks from now on the same day, more than likely.
We'll talk about PAX. We'll talk about Riptide. Riptide 2 weeks. PAX this weekend. I think it's on the 5th.
Yeah, we're gonna talk tournament. We're going to talk the full game. We're going to talk so much. I think that one might actually also be just about as long as this one.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what happens. That being said, I've been an arbiter.
I've been Par.
And I've been icy.
So thank you all for showing up. We are going to now find someone to raid. Let us find a raid target.
Who could it be?
Is there anyone playing Splatoon right now?
There's a few. Oh, no, the person I was watching. Oh, there's a few people playing Splatoon. I don't. Let me see. Oh,
That's fine.
Splatoon 2. There's Rafa. Cam. Is it really just them? It's not showing me a lot.
What about anyone PSL? Is anyone PSL streaming right now?
Crash is right now.
Crash
He
is,
was
yeah.
doing. Yeah, I think he was doing a Smash tournament today.
Halo Infinite's planning a tournament. The Australia New Zealand Open.
Glenn's finishing up Live Alive. I don't know. I feel like giving Crash some love for once. Let's this stream's a little small. Let's bolster that a little bit.
We're gonna go with the. Are we gonna go with the raid message? Stop taking my Pokemon Unite farm.
You can raid with whatever you like right now. I have a headache at this point.
Fair enough.
You know what? No, Chug Jug Dispenser. Why not?
Chug Jug dispenser. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, just Chug Jug.
Chug Jug. All right. That's a raid. All right. Thank everyone for watching.
Have a good one, guys. Hope you all. Just 8 days. We only need to live a week.
8 more days, and it's going to be a thing. All right, let's go. Later, all.
It feels like an eternity. Gosh.
I know, right?
Stop.